Bowl Day 94 continues, presented by Wavy Lay's Potato Chips. Game number 3 of our triple header is still to come. The USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. Let's go there now to New Orleans and Brent Musburger.
Well, thank you, John. And the college football feast now moves indoors from the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans. It's the Sugar Bowl. Unbeaten West Virginia against the Florida Gators. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger. This is more than just a story about college football tonight. This is a story about a love affair between an entire state and its college football team. Take a look at West Virginia.
Well, here's the state's pride and joy. You know, in Morgantown, West Virginia, they always leave the light on for you. This is the home of the beloved Mountaineers. Back in '88, the Mounties took that perfect 11-0 regular season and visions of a national championship into the Fiesta Bowl against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. But all their great hopes, along with respect and recognition, were dashed by the Irish. This season, they're doing it all over again. Morgantown and the entire state, once again, alive with the sounds of an unbeaten college football team. It feels great.
When the Mounties do good, it's amazing the people that it's a mecca from all over the state that come up here to Morgantown.
There's nothing else really in the state of West Virginia and Morgantown that they have, that everybody can band together and nationally and get recognition.
Search for national recognition began 40 years ago. West Virginia made its first and only previous trip down here to New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl. They were beaten by Georgia Tech and Pepper Rogers that day. Joe Tafoni, a defensive tackle during the 60s, well, he brings more than a passing interest to his alma mater. His son plays for the team.
When they walk on the field down there now, I even get chills and goosebumps. The hair turns up. But the state was behind us back then, but it is nothing in proportion to what's happening down there now.
And when his son Matt makes an interception like this, well, the entire place just rocks.
We're kind of like the hard-working people of the state, and we're proud of that. And that's why we try to play. We try to be physical and tough, and just like the state.
Bobby Bowden knows he once coached there.
There was as much unified pride in the Mountaineers than about any program I've witnessed.
It's huge. It's the biggest thing that you could possibly imagine. It brings everybody together, and it's a way for everyone to dispel the stereotypes about the state.
Yes, indeed, there's a lot of passion around college football, but there's only one West Virginia. 30,000, and they'll have their hands full tonight. The Gators of Florida, winners of the Southeastern Conference, are here in power, and ABC Sports presents college football. It's the Mountaineers against the Gators. Welcome, everybody, to the USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. Now, the Bowl Coalition Top 10 says Nebraska and Florida State are playing for the whole ball of wax down in Miami. The folks in West Virginia will tell you, just hold on here a minute, just hold on. Take a look at this here coaches poll now, they'll tell you. You bet. Now, those fellas, those coaches, they know what they're talking about. They got us ranked second. We may just share part of this national championship before the night is over. Well, Dick Vermeil, Happy New Year, partner.
Thank you, Brent.
You know, I love the state of West Virginia. You know that.
So do I.
But I want to tell you, I've got so much respect for what Steve Spurrier has done with the Florida Gators.
No question. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like wide-open college football, you'll enjoy watching Steve Spurrier's Gator offense. They throw the ball from as many formations as you can line up in one game, from many different actions, screens, throwbacks, flea flickers, double passes. They do it all. And you know something? Terry Dean is gaining confidence in executing everything they ask him to do.
Sounds like a lot of fun, but what about West Virginia now on the other side?
Well, Coach Neyland is just the opposite. I really believe, without him saying this, that he thinks all these coaches that do all that stuff are sissies. He'd rather line up and take you on physically, run the ball 50 times, play tough defense, take away your running game, and beat you that way. And I'll tell you something, their quarterback, Jake Kelchner, is tough enough to do it.
All right, well, folks, here are the Gators. Last night, everybody got ready out on Bourbon Street as they rang in the new year. but the players, no, folks, they were tucked in long about 10:30. And a Happy New Year to everybody from New Orleans. We are ready for the USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl.
Okay, I confess. I want my hair to look great. But I got better things to do than to mess around with it. So I use a special shampoo and conditioner that cleans and completely conditions without the hassle. Pert Plus. Net result, no matter what I've been doing, my hair does what I want it to. Why would I mess around with anything else?
Pert Plus. Great hair, no fuss. Brian Dennehy is Dr. Brian McKenzie.
That'd surprise you.
Sometimes he's lucky, sometimes he's not.
Come on, you lousy gnat!
But he's the best friend you'll ever have.
I know what it's like to feel alone.
Birdland, premiering Wednesday.
Hello, I'm Jay Sherman. Have you noticed that everything on TV stinks? But there is one shining exception. My show, The Critic, coming to ABC.
From the producers of The Simpsons, The Critic, coming soon.
ABC Sports coverage of the 1994 USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. Brought to you by USF&G Insurance. USF&G, the difference is understanding. The Chrysler Corporation and its divisions, proud sponsors of the 1994 U.S. Olympic team. MCI and the makers of Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
Well, we also say Happy New Year to our colleague Jack Arute. Jack is with us here tonight in New Orleans. Jack?
Well, Happy New Year to you, Brent, as well. And you know, if the University of West Virginia is looking for national recognition, no one could blame the Florida Gators for maybe looking for some recognition within their own state. For the last couple of years, they've played in the shadow of Florida State and Miami as they chase national championships. But Coach Steve Spurrier says it's more important to consider these facts. As a player and as a coach, Spurrier's been involved in the Sugar Bowl. He's lost both times. In fact, Florida's 0 for 3 in Sugar Bowl appearances. He also says he'd like to make the Florida Gators in 1993, their 94 appearance here, be a first 11-game season for the Florida Gators in football history. At the end of 60 minutes, we'll know if Spurrier gets his wishes for 93 on the first day of 1994.
There is the man who is at the helm the 4th year of the Gators over in Gainesville, Florida. He's done an absolutely remarkable job. And happy birthday to Donnie Nealon, 58 years old, as we turn the corner and head for 1994. And where does the time go? Todd Sauerbrunn to kick it off here in New Orleans. The big hop to Houston, one of the wide receivers. Ooh, Houston out to the 24-yard line. And it'll be Terry Dean with Steve Spurrier, the head coach. He's also the offensive coordinator. He'll send in the plays. It has been a roller coaster ride for young Dean out of Naples, Florida this year. He's finished only one game that he started for the Gators, but it was a big one. That was against Alabama in the SEC title game over in Birmingham. And the players on the team came away and told us here this week when we met with them that was the day that Terry Dean came of age. He became one of the players when he bent down in the huddle. They knew he was in charge. And here he is in charge, calling the first play, moving Houston over about a half-yard in the slot. And they will do what Spurrier loves to do best of all, incomplete. And West Virginia delivers the first hit from Wes Richardson, number 41. Now, along with the passing game, Kelvin Randolph, a fullback, will help set the table for Eric Rett when the Gators do go to that run game. Anthony Ingracia starting at left tackle as he did against Alabama in the SEC title game. On the defensive side, Derek Wiley, number 45, one of the big hit men for the Mountaineers. And Wes Richardson has already made one big play. And speaking of hitters, Mike Collins, number 25, in that West Virginia backfield. 2nd and 10. Dean rolling to the right. Incomplete, pressured by Scotty Gaskins, and a penalty flag down at the 20-yard line here.
Well, Steve Dunlap, the defensive coordinator for West Virginia, said he's never been as uncomfortable in preparation for a football game as he has been in preparing for these guys. Very little sleep. He says they're totally unpredictable, and it forces you to whittle down your defensive game plan. But the one thing they won't do is eliminate aggressiveness. These kids are aggressive.
Jimmy Kimmerling is our referee here tonight. Ed Manning is the umpire, and the head linesman is Ed Peters.
Downfield on the offense. Penalties decline. Third down.
Danny Werfel not in shoulder pads. He injured a knee against Florida State. Will not play tonight. He was shielding Steve Spurrier, watching as the play was being signaled out to Terry Dean. And there's about 10 seconds left. Plenty of time on the play clock. Houston comes down toward the offensive tackle. And again, he throws for the first down to the 40-yard line. And Charlie Dean, no relation to the quarterback, the big tight end, the senior 6'2", 245, with the game's first down.
Well, they don't go to him very often, but they go to him in critical situations. Left side of your screen, crossing pattern. Dean settles down in the hook zone right there in between the linebackers, takes it up, and makes the first down.
Ball at the Gators' 38-yard line. They were beaten here 2 years ago in the Sugar Bowl by Notre Dame. That was Eric Red who stepped out in motion. Randolph slides out down the middle and incomplete. Overthrew Willie Jackson, number 22 that time.
I noticed in the Alabama game that Dean in the first quarter and second quarter threw a lot of balls over the top of the receiver. And the third quarter and going into the fourth quarter, all of a sudden the nose started coming down and hitting the receivers between the numbers. And I really felt he started regaining that confidence he lost through being shuffled around.
Well, sooner or later, the Gators will call a running play.
Don't hold your breath.
2nd and 10 now, and Red is the record-setting tailback, number 33, and off a play fake. Dean firing complete to the 42-yard line, just keeping the ball in the air, and Wes Richardson making another stop.
Well, Steve Spurrier told both you and I, Brent, that he's going to come in the ball game wide open. Yes, he's going to run the football game, and if the ball game starts going that they're running a little bit better, then they'll run a little bit more. But he's coming in wide open. They like to throw the ball 55% of the time and run the ball 45%.
He's very confident tonight, not wearing a visor. Nothing to toss if he gets upset. Feels good about this one. 3rd and 6. And Dean with the call up at the line in the noisy Superdome. West Virginia shows blitz. Picked up in time. One-on-one, overthrew the wide man.
When they were working in the Dome this week, they've been here all week. When they worked in here, they used loud music. That these kids are used to getting hand signals to the receivers and everything. That time, Steve Dunlap, the defensive coordinator you see on the screen right there, called the blitz. They picked up the blitz, but they didn't complete the pass when the receiver was open.
Well, here comes the MVP, as far as many of us were concerned, of that SEC championship game. Shane Edge in the 3rd quarter. Things were looking gloomy. He took off and ran for 20 yards from his own 36. They then struck pay dirt on the next, and the game was never the same. That was Mike Baker of the Mountaineers set to return this. A great duel in the 2 punting games, and Edge nails one. And he said, I didn't want that one in the end zone. I didn't want 57 yards. I wanted him down inside the 20, but it was not to be.
It overpowered the Infiniti J30. It out-torqued the Nissan 300ZX. But more importantly, it eliminated, annihilated, and utterly destroyed the Chrysler stereotype. The Chrysler Concorde, an eloquent expression of form following function.
Every day in 34 countries and over 300 cities, Delta Airlines takes off to the world of facts and figures, budgets, and bottom lines. And when the job is done, we bring you back to the world of mommies and daddies, boyfriends, girlfriends, and best friends. Delta Airlines.
Your business is like his business.
It's like this business.
It's like that business.
It's like show business. It's like shoe business.
It's like business one is like business two.
It's like his business. It's like her business. It's like business 899. It's like business 989.
Just like his business.
So your business is what business?
At USF&G, we make it our business to know yours. Because only when we understand your business are you truly covered. USF&G, the difference is understanding.
Brian Boitano returns to the ice in pursuit of our national title. It's the Legs U.S. Figure Skating Championships, Thursday in prime time on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Well, if you like tough quarterbacks out of the mold of Billy Kilmer, here's your man, Jake Kelchner from Berwick, Pennsylvania. And Jack Arute, what about the crowd noise when it picks up here for Jake?
Well, Brent, interestingly enough, the chief referee, Jim Kemmerling, told both teams in a meeting yesterday he will not, I repeat, will not enforce the noise rule that is used during normal games. He says it's hard to determine who's making the most noise in a bowl game.
Most noise right here, Jack, made by the Mountaineer fans as Kelchner, who's a surprisingly strong runner, carried it around the left side. Normally, he'll hand it to Robert Walker, 43, behind this offensive line, which features the All-American tackle Rich Graham, number 78. And against the Gator defense, will line up this way. Kevin Carter played well against the Crimson Tide in the SEC title game. Eddie Robinson's their leading tackler. And back in that defensive backfield, Michael Gilmore, wonderful story, number 35, pre-med student, 3.75 grade point average, and a fine football player. This is 2nd and 2 after the 8-yard run. Kelchner throws to the sideline, and Baker at the 42 for a Mountaineer first down.
This is Mountaineer football, Brent. They like to run the football, use the run to set up the play action. This time they use a little counter action. They freeze people inside. The coverage sits down a little bit there, back there in the zones. They hit the corner pattern in behind the rolled up corner. So you'll see it to the right side of your screen. Good job.
14-yard gain to Baker, who goes out to the left along with Hill. Ryan, the tight end, in that direction, and a spinner by the fullback, Jimmy Freeman, into the arms of Dexter Daniels, number 48.
What we see them doing right now, using a tight end going unbalanced in motion, is new. They have not done that all year. Now they're running the same offense they normally run, but they're bringing an extra blocker. That's how they made the nice run with the quarterback on the opposite time.
Jake Kelchner had to be replaced in the 4th quarter of the great comeback against Boston College. He had trouble with his right elbow. You'll notice a heavy pad on it. A play fake. Kelchner fires complete again, and another Mountaineer first down into the hands of Mike Baker, the senior wide receiver.
Rich Graham, you mentioned, is an All-American. Now, he's quite a story, Brent. He came to school as a walk-on. He was not a recruited player. Here he is right here. Not a recruited player. He developed himself. He became a starter. He became captain. He became all-conference. He became All-American. Quite a story.
Another 14 yards, and the Mountaineers have moved to the Gator 44. Now it's Robert Walker slashing to the 41-yard line. Robinson and Gaines bring him down.
Ron Zook, the defensive coordinator for Florida, said that one thing they're going to do is they are going to commit to stop the run and force Kelchner to throw the football. If we have to line up with 8 people, we will do it. We are not afraid to blitz. We are not afraid to play man-to-man. Ron Zook made those statements to me. Now, sometimes you get in a ball game, you start calling those blitzes. You can chicken out, you know.
2nd and 7. The Mountaineers with a basic eye, and the tight end Ryan stepping over to the right side. Kelchner looks toward the right. He's going to swing it out to Walker. 40. To the 34, close to a first down. Larry Kennedy the defensive back who led the Gators in tackles against Alabama, number 3, coming up to make his first stop of this game.
What they're doing with that swing pass is taking the tight end and releasing him outside and trying to screen off the defense, then swinging the back wide here and trying to attack a soft area in the coverage. Drop back pass, get the linebackers right. You'll see the tight end screen him off there. No defender on him in that zone defense out there. A lot of running room. You can't give that man that much room to run with the football.
It is 3rd and 1. 1 running back, 2 tight ends, and West Virginia shows pass out of it. Kelchner in trouble, and it is incomplete, and this leaves them with 4th and 1. An unusual call.
Yeah, unusual call. You know something, Brent? They did the same thing against Miami, the first 3rd and 1 situation, when we saw them play early in the year. I believe they will second-guess that decision. They don't have a good field goal kicker. Now, they might decide just to go ahead and go for it because they are strong and physical in the offensive line. They've done a pretty good job of converting 3rd down situations running the ball.
So this will be a 4th down. And Jack Arute, what about elbow surgery? Is that possible for Kelchner with that bruised elbow again and that bursa sac problem?
Brent, it is indeed a possibility. You know, he's wearing that protective white bandage around his elbow. You can see it there. They say he's got some fluid on his elbow, but it has not affected his throwing arm.
Walker for the first down. A very confident West Virginia team throwing on 3rd down, and on 4th and 1, they run with Walker. He is quite a story. John Jones was the starter this year, injured. Walker comes in, Dick, and gained 1,000 yards.
Ron Zook came in with 5 defensive linemen. He has not done that all year. They still blocked the 5 defensive linemen and made the first down. We will see this change up not only in 3rd and short situations, 4th down situations. We'll see it scattered in. That's part of their game plan. 5 down linemen.
Impressive opening drive for West Virginia. And timeout. We'll take a break here from the USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. Florida and West Virginia are scoreless.
Comic Relief, 6.
If you have never watched the show, maybe you don't know how to laugh. So here are a few laughs that you can try at home.
It's the nervous laugh.
The polite laugh.
The big burly Viking laugh.
The 20 packs a day laugh. Funny.
Now that you know how to laugh, join America's top comedians live for one of the biggest comedy events of the year.
And then there's the laugh that only dogs can hear.
Ow!
Comic Relief 6, live and only on HBO.
The universe is information. Information can be digitized. Digital data can be transmitted. Every book, every movie, every piece of knowledge in the universe, right here.
Four-wheel, fully independent suspension. 24 valves, 214 horses. Speed proportional steering. Four-wheel ABS and computerized traction control. And cab-forward design for greater stability. At last, an American luxury car that can make these feel like invitations instead of warnings. Presenting the Chrysler LHS, an eloquent expression of form following function.
Rosie has a business meeting.
I love that brooch.
My husband gave it to me.
Either he did something very bad or you did something very good.
It's a new Roseanne Tuesday.
Welcome back to New York. I'm John Saunders. In the Cotton Bowl, Mike Miller of Notre Dame, 37 yards on the punt return. It sets up this tie-breaking field goal and game winner by Kevin Pendergast, 31 yards. The Irish prevail 24-21. Brent and Dick.
John, that was closer than a lot of folks thought. And the Irish were favored by 7 in that Cotton Bowl in Dallas today. West Virginia, the champions of the Big East. The Big East on the day, 1-1. Miami shellacked by Arizona this afternoon. What a performance out in the desert. Now here for the Mounties, Kelchner going to the end zone. Kearney's there. Touchdown, West Virginia.
Brent, Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator, told me they've been scoring from the 30 on in, throwing post patterns. They felt they would come in and not run the post. They would make a little move to the post and go to the corner pattern. Lot number 9 took the bite to the post. Here's the corner pattern executed perfectly. Touchdown, good game planning by the coaching staff.
Tom Mazzone puts West Virginia up by 7. A 32-yard scoring pass from senior quarterback Jake Kelchner to senior wide receiver Jay Kearney. And Kearney averaged 63 yards on his 4 previous touchdowns this year.
You can see right now they're one-on-one here. One guy here, one receiver here, free safety, man-to-man to the right side of your screen. Down, make a move to the post, and go for the corner off play-action passing. Good design, corner all alone. Lott takes the move to the post, gets to the corner, free safety comes too flat. Gilmore can't help.
Unbeaten Mountaineers with the first score in the '94 USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. Todd Sauerbrunn, the punter, and he tries the long field goals. He also handles the kickoffs. Jack Jackson and Houston back deep.
He has a real good leg.
This is Jackson a yard deep. Cuts back to the 27. Jack Jackson, who led the SEC in touchdown receptions this year, and someday, folks, you're going to see him playing in a Monday Nighter. In our final Monday Nighter of the season, the San Francisco 49ers put it in high gear with the Philadelphia Eagles, one of those teams decimated by injuries this year. Not the same after they lost Randall Cunningham. The Niners will be tuning it up for the playoffs, which will begin next week in the National Football League.
But the one thing those Eagles have done is they have played consistently hard, and they played awfully well last week in beating the Saints.
Florida's first possession, they passed 6 straight plays. Now Eric Redd on the toss finds a huge hole for a Florida first down as they discover the running game.
This is really different. They toss the ball, and it counters back. Very different. He'll toss it to him this way, and he'll catch it, and then come back with a lead block to the fullback. Very different. It's the only school I've seen run this play. Good block by Kelvin Randolph at the point of attack. Move the chains. Here it is again. That frees the linebacker, starts to move in one way, makes him easier to block.
12 yards and a first down, and that gains Redd another carry. And Eric Redd, he, of course, surpassed Emmitt Smith's career rushing record of 3,928 yards, and he is shaken up on that play as he goes down, and he is grabbing at his back down there at the 47-yard line. And here comes the medical staff for the Gators out there out of West Hollywood, Florida. He's a young man who was heavily recruited by West Virginia. In fact, Coach Nealon thought that he was going to land him in Morgantown.
Take a look at this at the reverse angle. You know, Brent, earlier, too, and the first time he got hit catching a ball over the middle, he got up rubbing his back, if you'll remember. He's stretched out there right now. It doesn't appear to be obvious there. You know, and the second string running back is not here. Tony Davis is not here, so if he can't play, they'll have to go with a true freshman.
Terrence Foy was getting most of the practice, Dick. Let's see if number 5 enters the game, or if they go with a fullback. As Rhett,
you talk about
medical attention, they're going to stick with a fullback right now. Is what they're going to do. They'll use Randolph back there as the lone setback, while Rhett's recuperating over on the sideline. And they'll give it to Randolph. He slipped through as Steve Perkins, number 97, grabbed him first.
He cut back too soon. I'll tell you this, if you're going to defense Florida's offense, you better not allow them to run the football, because if they start running the ball with Eric Rett, they'll give it to him like they did in the Gator Bowl last year. He ran for over 190 yards. You better stop them, because if you have to stop both the run and the great pass, you're in trouble.
He's back in the game. He's a tough hombre.
Yes,
He was
he
a
is
state
tough.
wrestling champion down at Hollywood MacArthur High before coming to Gainesville. This is 3rd and 3 for the Gators. And Dean off a quick drop throws incomplete. And Perkins deflected it.
Big Steve Perkins, one of the better defensive linemen they have, voted most improved defensive player in spring practices. Continued to improve all year, has another year. He's out of Fort Lauderdale, loves to play football. And the other thing, just like the rest of these Mountaineers, they love to work. They love to hit each other, too.
Well, it's Shane Edge time again. Boomed it back into the end zone, and the Mountaineers promptly went 80 yards for a touchdown. Here's Baker, signaling that he's ready to tax it. High, down inside the 10-yard line. Baker says, I'm coming. Beats the first one, out to the 11, and finally out of bounds at the 12-yard line. The unbeaten Mountaineers lead the Gators by 7.
To make Dodge Intrepid more spacious, we moved the wheels that normally go here, out, and back to here. Up front, the wheels that were here were moved out to here. It's a concept called cab forward that yields astonishing room for people like me. While good things like wider doors, sports car handling, and superb aerodynamics came along for the ride. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything.
With full confidence, I submit to you an affordable economic package.
Senator, this will cost only $10.99.
$10.99.
The man's an idiot.
I'll say it again.
Would somebody call security?
$10.99.
What could anyone possibly get for $10.99?
I'm glad you asked.
Bigfoot Pizza from Pizza Hut with that special crust delivered for only $10.99.
Hey, Dad, who's going to sponsor this bill?
Bigfoot Pizza, a legendary value.
There will be a road. It will not connect 2 points. It will connect all points. Its speed limit will be the speed of light. It will not go from here to there.
There will be no more there.
There will be no more there. We will all only be here. La 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 la.
The Southeastern Conference, Kentucky losing by 1 in a dandy Peach Bowl down in Atlanta last night. In the Outback Steakhouse Gator Bowl, Alabama on the rebound, looked good and beating North Carolina. But there was a shocker in the Citrus Bowl today when Tennessee was blown away by Penn State. Now in the Big East, Virginia Tech big over Indiana. Arizona 29-0 over Miami, and Boston College comes up big on Virginia today. So that's how the Southeastern Conference and the Big East did. And Baker was shaken up on that punt return. He disdained the fair catch. Took a lick, and he'll be back. And now it's 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line, and Kelchner throwing beautiful pass to the inside. This was Rasan Vanderpool, the freshman, getting some playing time because of Baker's injury. But what a well-thrown ball that was, not giving the defensive back an opportunity as he got it down to the inside. As Jake the Snake, who started his college career at Notre Dame and then transferred to West Virginia, and what a pleasant addition to the Mountaineer team he has been. This is his final game as a Mountaineer out of Berwick, Pennsylvania. That's a tough, tough town. Mamas raise their babies to be football players in that town. Here is Robert Walker to the 20-yard line, and Dexter Daniels.
They're flopping the tight end from side to side, Brent, getting the bandit back, who is actually more of a run defender on the pass side of the formation, and Monty Groh, the Gator back, on the other side of the formation, forcing him to play run. It's a good little game plan. I'm sure that Coach Zook will make an adjustment here soon.
Well, here's 3rd and 2.
You see the tight end coming over, by starting over on the other side. He got the run defender on the other side and the pass defender where he ended up.
Vanderpool takes Kennedy. Now on the toss to Walker. Well-designed play. Penalty flag thrown late by the back judge.
Holding by the wide receiver was Sean Vanderpool out blocking the strong safety or the Gator back. He hooked him by the foot, I'm pretty sure. That is also a new option that they haven't run this year. Remember, Brent, when we saw them before, they weren't running options because of the health of their quarterback. He had the bad hamstring. Jake couldn't run them, but he loves to run them. Concentrate in the middle of your screen now. Right there, circle, hold right there. He hooked his foot right there with his hand, and they caught him.
When you consider the time off that the Mountaineers had, and remember the last game they played was up in Boston on that great comeback in the fourth quarter to beat the Eagles, the time off had to help West Virginia.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding on the offense. Dead ball, personal foul on the defense.
University of Florida is the most penalized team in the SEC, and some people infer that that means they're not disciplined. I don't totally agree with them. I don't have a breakdown in regard to offensive penalties and defensive penalties, but I think sometimes they get so many things in the game plan, Brent, that offensive people make little mistakes, movement mistakes, and they aren't concentrating on a lot of other things.
I want to go back and finish that point I was making. Because of the time off, Kelchner's hamstring, and a hamstring basically needs time and heat to heal. And now it has gotten a lot better. We're not so sure about the elbow here tonight, but what's happening against Florida is that the Gators know that Darren Studstill, and we will see Studstill at quarterback for the Mountaineers on the 4th series. Now, Studstill is an excellent runner. Well, I think they figured that Kelchner was probably all passer.
And the coaches will tell you that Kelchner can run just as well.
Now, that personal foul on the dead ball gives the Mountaineers this first down. So they start with a 1st and 10 coming out from the 32, and Kelchner is right on target here so far tonight. Another completion, this one to Jay Kearney, who caught the touchdown pass.
See, now the West Virginia staff doing a good job making people think run, but they come out and throw the football. They have the man in motion here. It's going to come out and stretch the defense, widening the corner so they can come in and throw the turn in the zone. Playing run, hey, we're not going to run. We're going to throw the ball, and throw it accurately. Kelchner does. Throwing on the run, he is so confident right now. When you talk to him, he's not cocky. You can almost read him as cocky, but he is extremely confident.
He's 6 of 7 for 85 yards and 132-yard touchdown. And they run the draw with John Jones. Now here is the senior tailback coming back after suffering that broken leg earlier this season. That allowed Robert Walker to step into the lineup. But Jones in practice has been running well, and Dick, coach has told you, don't be surprised if you see a lot of Jones.
That's right. He came into the ballgame with 1,344 career rushing yards, but he missed the whole season, got hurt the first of the year. Good football player. They're very, very fortunate to have 2 backs of that caliber.
Now I see that their big All-American tackle, Rich Graham, has been forced out of the game. We'll get a check on that. They fake the end around. Kelchner now takes off, and Jake crosses midfield to the 49-yard line.
What he doesn't want to do is land on his elbow like he just did then, Brent. You'll notice the pad on the elbow. He had terrible burst of sack problems. Really bothered him in the Boston College game, end of the year. It looked like to me that he landed on it that time.
You are looking at this year's version of Billy Kilmer, folks. This is some tough hombre. When he led Berwick to the Pennsylvania State title over Aliquippa, he played the entire game with a broken hand. That's how tough this young man is. 3rd down and 4 now. Jones and Woodard, the running backs. Jake's going to swing it on out. And here's Jones. Jones short. Down at midfield, Mark Campbell and Dexter Daniels.
Excellent discipline by Dexter Daniels, the middle linebacker. Man-to-man coverage, 5 down linemen rushing, 1 linebacker out of the ballgame. He locks on, he stays with him, eyeballs him all the way, tracks him inside out, does not overrun him, gets his head across the bow, and makes the play. Good job.
Let's go down now to Jack Arute quickly. Jack?
Well, Brent, if you look over my shoulder, there's Rich Graham being worked on by the team physicians and the trainers. Now, what he has done is he dislocated this knuckle. the middle knuckle in his right hand. They have popped it back in. They're taping it back up. He put the glove on. He's going to play hurt, but he's going back in.
Well, Todd Sauerbrunn, as you see Braham over on the sideline. Here's a young man who has gone from walk-on Dick all the way to All-American.
Right. How'd you like to run into him in Bourbon Street one night? Huh? Holy mackerel, he looked up, and he is tough. Good student. He already has his degree. Already has it. Going to graduate school. He's going to play, I think he's going to play guard in the NFL.
That punt by Sauerbrunn, out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Two superb punters here tonight in this Sugar Bowl, and the Gators now are buried. They have to come out from the 9-yard line. Jack Jackson comes in motion, 3 wides to the left. He'll hit Willie Jackson, 22, and Willie Jackson is forced out at the 16-yard line, and it was Aaron Beasley taking him out of bounds.
That's a form of a wide receiver screen without using offensive linemen. They do a lot of this stuff because these guys are so gifted. Jackson has been a kick returner, a punt returner, and he's very, very skilled. Number 2 all-time receiver at the school.
Just saw a shot of Reggie Green here, Dick. He is now in the game. Did not start tonight, and Gracia did. This is 2nd and 3. Terry Dean on the toss. He'll take it back. This is a familiar play to Gator fans. Straight down the middle. They want one-on-one with Houston. He overthrew him and almost intercepted at the 32 by Beasley.
Good pressure on him. He had to slide.
And a penalty flag is thrown, and it may be a personal foul here against Willie Jackson. Jackson at the West Virginia 45-yard line got into it, and the penalty flag was thrown.
Dead ball, personal foul on the offense. Dead ball, personal foul on the defense. We will offset them. 3rd down.
Coach Neyland wants a little better explanation of that call. They flip it, the flea flicker, give it back, throw the post pattern. They got the coverage up. Tafoni hit him as he threw the ball. Really overthrown. Don't see any penalty problems there.
We're not going to see it in that replay because it was off to the left and further back about 15 yards is where the incident occurred. It is now 3rd and 3. I formation for the Gators. Here's the toss to Rhett. Rhett looks on the left side, and he is trapped. And coming from the backside, Derek Wiley, and a penalty flag again.
They used that same action that they just used the flea flicker, but this time he kept the ball and tried to run. Right now, West Virginia's defensive front 4, those down linemen are really coming off the ball, Brent. Boy, that's not intelligent football. You have 10 guys stopping an offensive play, and then one guy screw it up and give him a 1st down and 15 yards. Not intelligent football.
Take a look at Steve Perkins here, number 97, right in the middle of your screen. Throws
Right
the
there
forearm
goes, yeah.
and draws the penalty flag, and just like you said, Dick, not intelligent.
And I know this, Coach Neyland sees that and knows who it is. He's going to have shoot out in between series or pulled out now.
And the Gators have the ball up on their own 29-yard line. Keeps a drive alive. I formation look again with 3 wide receivers, and it is Eric Rhett. Rhett battling to the 32, and Matt Tafoni, number 3, who had battled the flu himself down here for several days in New Orleans, but he's been healthy the last couple and worked out with the team.
Watched Eric Rhett practice Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Every time he touches the ball, he runs 30 yards downfield. I asked the coaches about it. He says, does he do this all season? He says, every day, all season, spring practice, he runs 30 yards every touch. Every time
One of those rarities, Dick, who loves to practice as well as play. Just dearly loves the game of football. From the split back, Dean firing a good pass to Jack Jackson. Jack Jackson squirts for the first down to the 42.
That maneuverability as a wide receiver. Here he is, a record holder kickoff returner. He uses those same skills catching a short pass, making you miss, not making the long run, but gaining that first down. Big play. 28.2 average school record kickoff return man, and only a sophomore from Moss Point.
Time left in the first quarter. Wow. Eric Rett also can block. He stood up Tim Brown. This allowed Terry Dean to finally hit the fullback Randolph, and Randolph is close to a first down and Tafoni. But did Eric Rett ever have his hands full with Tim Brown coming in? Watch this.
When John Reeves, the running back coach of Florida, says he is a complete football player, this is why he says that. Wham, he takes on the linebacker right there, nose to nose, stays after him, pushes him beyond the quarterback, allows the quarterback, and I'll tell you this, Eric Rett is hurting. He's either got a hip pointer or a stinger in the back, but he was limping after that play.
Feeling his side and back toward the small of the back. Coming up now in second and short. Off the play fake, Dean throws. Beautiful catch at the 30-yard line by Houston.
See, they run so many draws that they freeze you using draw pass action. You go back, fake the draw, pulls the linebackers inside, they curl in the zone. You're going to have to get into some man-to-man coverage. Draw fake, right side of your screen. Linebackers left side of your screen. See him sitting there in the line of scrimmage. Now the curl pattern will take place back inside, right inside the zone. Good throw, good catch.
Eric Rett, the lone setback. Right side hole, Rett to the 22-yard line, and Richardson makes the stop.
Good job by Jason Odom, the big offensive right tackle of 290-pounder. Got the pass rusher upfield and allowed that hole to open. And the right guard, Jim Watson, stung the defensive tackle, and he couldn't get off. Good job, Jason.
Now two tight ends enter the game, Dean and Sean Nunn. Nunn, number 80, he's the freshman. Aubrey Hill is the wide receiver. This the Gators' best drive of the game. West Virginia has been dominating so far. They show blitz, and here they come. It's picked up, and Dean quickly steps to the left, drops it high, but Hill got it at the 10-yard line, and a first down on a nifty grab with, again, Eric Rett throwing the key block.
A great call by Spurrier. He's been spreading them all over the field. Now, a la Washington Redskins, in the old days, he bunches them all up, gets them tight, then runs the crossing pattern. Receivers cross. Here's the wing coming across underneath. No one picks him up. Big gainer. Good pressure inside. Rett does a nice job, as you said, Brent, at picking up the pressure, but nobody stays with the crossing receiver. There he is. If it had been a clean throw, it would have been a touchdown.
Chris Bilkey in at fullback. They set the eye, and Dean will change up the play right now after he looks at the defense down here going in. It's Rett behind Bilkey. Rett battles to the 7-yard line, and Buddy Hager brings him down.
When they get down here, Brent, they like to throw the corner patterns to the guy in the slot. That's what they like to do. It was effective in the ball games that I watched on the tape, and they throw it well. They execute it real well. Tough to cover, because many times you get a slot man on a strong safety, and that's a mismatch.
They're going to send Harrison Houston over into that slot. Jack Jackson's on that side, and Chris Doring all to Dean's right. Willie Jackson over to his left. Four talented wide receivers. Short drop, quick pop once. Willie had a left hand on it and couldn't bring it down. He had one-on-one against Beasley, and he could not deliver it.
See what they did, Brent. You called it. They had three receivers set up to the field. They're trying to pull the coverage over there. Try to bring all coverage people over there. Force the one-on-one situation. They got the one-on-one situation. They just didn't throw it complete. Three receivers on top. One-on-one right here. You've got to complete it when you get that situation. Good defensive job, though, right there. They got a jam, got a little pressure on him, couldn't throw it accurately.
Florida calls a timeout, and Terry Dean will come over, and I can remind everybody that coming up on Monday here on ABC, day one with Forrest Sawyer And it's a very interesting story. You'll get to meet Billy Graham's son, Franklin Graham. Now, he's apparently going to take over his dad's evangelical empire. And you will find out all about him Monday night on day one here on ABC. That prior to the Monday night game between San Francisco and Philadelphia. So, Dick Vermeil, let me ask you this. Are you surprised so far by anything you have or have not seen?
I am not surprised. I really am not, though, because the people, we've been here long enough, they're very open with their game plans, and they're doing exactly what they said they were going to do. West Virginia said they were going to come out and throw the ball a little bit more than they normally would because they expected Florida to gang up and try to stop the run. And that's what they're doing. So they're getting some one-on-one situation, and they're throwing the ball well. And you can see the difference in Kelchner now than we saw him against Miami.
Jackaroo, what's the situation with Eric Rett?
Well, as you know, Brent, Eric took a helmet to the back and he early came out of the game. They say there's nothing really wrong with him other than the West Virginia players know that he got hurt a little bit. So now whenever he carries the ball, gets in the pile, not cheap shots, but they're roughing him up after the whistle is blown. He's already complained to the referee a couple of times. He's not at all happy about it, but that's part of football, as you know.
What's interesting, Jack, on the play in which he came out on and received medical attention, he didn't take a helmet on that one. He simply went down here on the AstroTurf. That would have had to happen prior to that.
In an ensuing play, what happened, Brent, is in the pileup. They just keep spearing people. That's part of what you learn to do when you play rough football.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something about West Virginia. That's the kind of game they want against Florida. It's a little black and blue division football, folks. That's what they want. And meanwhile, Steve Spurrier, he's got 4 wide receivers. He's got his quarterback calling the pass play up at the line of scrimmage. He's got a 3rd down. The Mountaineers were blitzing. I think they could have been offside. And it's deflected away by Beasley.
He threw it too flat. It hit the defender on the helmet. Aaron Beasley knocked it down. I asked Aaron Beasley the other day if there is one receiver better than the other. He said, Coach, they're all good.
I think Wes Richardson is offside on this play.
The ball coming down left-hand side of your screen. Boink, right off the helmet right there through the receiver's hands. Are they moving the chains back?
Now, Richardson was coming on the blitz, and he stepped across. So now the penalty moves the ball inside the Mountaineers' 5-yard line. Now, here's an idea and an example of what Eric Rett has been complaining about. Tim Brown just getting a little boost there from somebody's midsection to stand up. Now on 3rd down, here's the toss. Rett is cut off. Going to head back to the right side and try to get to the flag. Cuts in. Beautiful run for a score. What a run by Eric Rett, the all-time rushing leader for the Florida Gators.
You can punch me all you want, buddy. I am still tough, and I'm going to run the football. Not a design play to break back like that. Just good instinct, toughness, and a strong desire to put it in the end zone. They wanted to run outside to the top of your screen. It's shut off. Good defense. He bounces back. He switches the ball back to his other hand so he can straight arm with that left hand. He's coming in there. Boom. Touchdown. Good effort. That's why he runs 30 yards every time he touches the ball.
Steve Spurrier pleased with that drive and the performance of his quarterback. And Judd Davis, the winner of the Lou Groza Award this year, is on to attempt the extra point for the Gators. Perfect. Nice run, Eric. That was a big-time college football run. They talk about this young man and say that maybe he doesn't have the burst for the NFL, but he sure got the heart.
Yes, he does. I talked to Coach Spurrier about it. You were with me when we did. He says he doesn't have the great speed, but he has good speed, but he has everything else. The big thing he has, too, combined with all those attributes, is tremendous character. Well, I'll tell you, you line up with guys like that, Brent, you win.
Well, here he is.
Sweep to the left. Oh, not there. I'm going back the other way. There should have been a man in contained position coming down from the backside on that play to prevent that from happening.
Well, Beasley should have also made the tackle. Beasley is the defender over there, and he's got to break him down and keep him there, at least until help arrives, which he did not do.
Kids like Eric Rett are infectious. They are infectious to the entire offensive team, to the guys that sit on the bench, to the special team. And in my case, guys like that were infectious to me. I mean, people used to say, who motivates you, Dick? And I said, guys like Eric Redden.
We have got a couple of characters like that. For West Virginia, Jake Kelchner. And it'll be his turn now with Mike Logan, 23, and Vanderpool, 26. You know, the key play in that scoring drive was probably the personal foul on the Mountaineers after they stopped Florida on 3rd down, wasn't it? Back on their own 15-yard line. They were their own worst enemy. Here's the freshman Vanderpool from out of the end zone. Vanderpool wide to the left. Both teams very dangerous kicking games out at the 25.
We see a lot of little infighting going, Brent, even right there. Blocker against kickoff coverage guy. Both coaches ought to get their players to the sideline and say, guys, keep it clean, keep it clean. We don't want to give them 15 yards a pop.
Had a couple of fellas tossed out of the Rose Bowl earlier that I was watching between Wisconsin. What a big win that was for the Badgers. Congratulations to Barry Alvarez and the way he quickly turned that program around.
I think that probably just about locked up NCAA Coach of the Year for Barry Alvarez, because Coach Nealon on this field was in the hunt. But boy, that big win is going to make it tough.
Darren Studstill is back at tailback. Watch out for the halfback option pass. They've got one-on-one. Kearney, and he overthrew him. They slipped the backup quarterback in at tailback, a play they've been working on here in New Orleans all week long.
And they completed it every time on the practice field. They ought to bring that scout team cornerback and let him play. You know, many times you don't think you can get away with this kind of stuff, but it's amazing if on a first down of a new series, you can get away with things like that. And don't think this is the only type of play we'll see, because Florida's got about a half a dozen of similar type things where they slip people in different positions and get them the football.
Now John Jones.
There's Doc Holliday, the pass receiver coach for the Mountaineers.
Nate Ryan over to the right side of the formation. Jones blasts up the middle. I can see why the coaches like him. Out to the 34-yard line. So West Virginia and Florida are tied in the USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. 7-7. The end of the first quarter. We'll be right back.
Turn arrow to open.
It doesn't open.
Pain relievers can be a pain to get into.
It hurts.
Turn the arrow.
I can't get it open.
So the makers of Tylenol introduced the patented Fast Cap package. So easy to open, it's commended by the Arthritis Foundation.
Oh, my.
Easy as pie.
Oh, gee.
I can do it with my arthritic finger and thumb.
The new Fast Cap.
Like I said, easy as pie.
Only from Tylenol, the powerful pain reliever that's not a pain to open. Not for homes with young children.
Oh.
Lenny the Caveman and Thrifty Car Rental would like to remind you this holiday season that wherever you're traveling and whatever set of wheels you're using, please be extra careful when you drive. After all, during this time of year, getting around is hard enough. Happy holidays from your neighborhood Thrifty Car Rental.
You don't have to be 19 to have a body like this. You don't have to work out 8 hours a day. You don't have to be narcissistic or shallow. In fact, all you really need is $39 a month. The SoloFlex Muscle Machine. What are you waiting for?
Here's a camera tip. In order to get a nice steady picture, one that doesn't jiggle or bounce around, remember, it's important your camera be mounted on a solid object specially designed to minimize vibration. Dodge Intrepid, running at, let's say, 85 miles an hour, would be a particularly good choice. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything.
Bowl Day 94 continues, presented by Wavy Lay's Potato Chips. I'm John Saunders in New York. Surprising day. Penn State absolutely blows out Tennessee 31-13. Kajana Carter with 2 touchdowns in that game. In the Fiesta Bowl, Arizona shuts out Miami 29-0. Dan White with a couple of touchdown passes to Troy Dickey. And in the Rose Bowl, Wisconsin wins for the first time ever in the Rose Bowl as they knock off UCLA by 5. Back to Brent.
John, I think overall this was one of the best New Year's days that I can remember in recent memory for the Big Ten. 3-0, Michigan, Penn State, and Wisconsin. Nice day by a conference that had a good year. Now Kelston was running the option, and it was disrupted completely by the defense. Ellis Johnson was there, and Dick, let's take a look at the All-American tackle, Rich Braham, who's back in.
Well, many times guys are labeled All-Americans, and you watch them play, you can't figure out whoever picked them. Maybe Ladies' Home Journal or something like that. But when you watch this guy play, you know that he's an All-American, taking on Richardson inside there at the linebacker position and doing a good job.
Oh, you get all the male from the women on that one.
Well, you know how many times we've seen a guy labeled All-American. We watch him play, we can't figure it out.
Most have Snorp run a little bit of a low punt. And running up is Sorola Palmer. He did a great job against Alabama. And he's upended here at the 35-yard line by Charles Emmanuel, the sophomore defensive back. But we can take a look at the first quarter numbers. West Virginia dominating early, and then the Gators marching back down to score their touchdown. Things fairly even, Dick?
I'll tell you, well, I don't know if we've done a game in a long time as even as that. The other thing is neither turnover. Look at the time in possession. 52 seconds difference. Even football game. And it's going to be like that probably for 4 quarters all the way through.
Eric Rhett and Kelvin Randolph are the Gator running backs. They're leaving Randolph in because they're going to need some blocking against this defensive pressure from West Virginia. Here's the toss, and Rhett cutting back beautifully on that play again to the right, and the daylight is there. This is such a quick pursuing team. They take that quick step, and then Rhett came back to daylight.
Here's the quick step you're talking about, Brent. They toss the ball. Now it has an effect on the linebackers to freeze him there as they toss it, and he comes back with the lead block. See him step, it freezes him. Look at, he wanted to go after it. He couldn't get there. Nice block by Randolph right there. Move the chains.
Oh, this is a Steve Spurrier special here. 2nd and short. Get the pressure over on the left side of the formation right now. You got your tight end, and it's really a wide receiver on the right. You've camouflaged. Bring him around now, and off a fake end around, and there's a penalty flag down along with Dean at the 39-yard line. They were going to go for the whole ball of wax on 2nd and short. You could smell it coming, couldn't you?
It was a waste down all the way, and sometimes I think coaches make a mistake to use that kind of play on a waste down situation. You have to give the defensive coaches some credit as well. The secondary coach, Kevin Ramsey, had the safety sitting back there looking for some kind of a play like that.
Well, Kimmerly's arm apparently had fallen asleep, and he wanted a little exercise, so he picks it back up and puts it away. And,
doesn't happen often.
No. Third down and 5. Dean coming over to the right side, throws underneath, and with pressure on, he was able to deliver it because Eric Rhett would not be denied the football. Wes Richardson was draped around his shoulder pads, and Rhett made the catch anyway.
And Wes Richardson is a fine football player. 4-year guy out of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. He's all over him, like you said. But he threw it right where he had to throw it, scramble situation, and he concentrated on the ball, got it out of the air before it could be knocked down.
So the one wrinkle that Spurrier has added here early is roll Terry Dean to the right and to the left. He's had great defensive pressure. He has 4 wide receivers, 3 of them out to the left now, and West Virginia shows 3 rushmen. They back off into a dime look here with only 3 rushmen. The offensive line holds up, passes high and incomplete over the middle. Timmy Brown, he's been delivering some pop.
He is so quick. And as you saw by that last graphic, Spurrier's quarterbacks, regardless of where he coaches, whether it be Duke or the USFL with the Tampa Bay Bandits or here at Florida, all his quarterbacks perform superbly. And even this year, they both perform well even when they get benched.
There is Tim Brown, was a safety in junior college before enrolling at West Virginia. Again, a three-man rush against this obvious passing situation. 2nd and 10. They throw underneath the coverage to Rhett. West Virginia lets him have a couple of yards and no more before they force him out of bounds. A very soft zone, giving up a couple of yards there.
Steve Dunlap, defensive coordinator, West Virginia, doing a good job playing cat and mouse. Showing man, moving the zone, showing zone, moving the man, changing every down what he did from the last down distance situation in that same category. Steve Dunlap on your screen. Good job of mixing it up.
He is really defying Spurrier to come back with a power game against that three-man defensive line. He doesn't think he's going to do it, does he? Here's 3rd and 7 now, and the Gators come up in a power eye. And so West Virginia will set down now. They'll put 4 linemen down, and they'll press at the corners. Dean is back over the middle, a diving catch by Jackson. That's why this is the most feared passing attack in the Southeastern Conference. Willie Jackson, first down, Florida.
What they did is they brought the back in motion. Eric Rhett got the linebacker out as he went in motion. Got the linebacker back coming out, gets Richardson out of there. See, now that leaves only one defender. Bring him in here, throw him the football. Good design. Good design. Man-to-man coverage tight, but there's a hole in there. See that hole? No underneath coverage.
Now 2 wide receivers, including the slot man for the Gators, are off to Dean Wright. They'll give it to Rhett, and there's a huge hole on the right side. Rhett to the 30, still going to the 27, and another Florida first down.
Good blocking by the fullback. Kelvin Randolph, talking to him the other day, sitting on the bench. I said, do you ever get tired of not getting to carry the football? He says, Coach, I just do what they ask me to do. Yes, I would like to run the ball more. Here he is. He'll lead through, get the linebacker. I would like to run the ball more. I know my job, and I'm going to do it well, and that's what he does right there. Nice knockdown block on the linebacker.
Wiley comes back in defensively for the Mountaineers. He'll line up against the tight end. 4 down linemen defensively, and Rhett comes in motion for the Gators on first down. Short drop, fires complete to Jack. Fumble! West Virginia's Tafoni recovers at the 18-yard line. Matt wraps it up.
The first turnover of the game. Steve says, oh my gosh. All that design, all that work and effort, all those receivers on the field. I throw it to the right guy, I complete it, and we turn it over.
Watch Aaron Beasley over here strip it.
Gets it tucked away properly, and a nice job of bringing both hands around and stripping it just as you called it, Brent. We have seen so many teams this year do an excellent job of stripping the football. Takeaways. Every 25 plays, and they don't give it back very often. See, they have a plus 14 play situation there.
And Darren Studstill in at quarterback, as the Mountaineer coaching staff told us. And the Gators show blitz right away. It's Robert Walker. Walker steps outside, what he does best of all, and he is out of bounds at the 27 with Michael Gilmore getting him out.
You said what he does best of all. True, he has the great speed. Not a cutback runner, power runner, slasher. If he can get an angle and you get parallel with him, Darren's, he can outrun the pursuit.
Let's go down to Jackaroo. Jack.
Well, Brent, as you alluded to, Darren Studstill is on schedule to come in around the 3rd or the 4th exchange series. One of the reasons that they say they like to do that is to maybe change the tempo of the game a little bit. But Coach Dick Vermeil, as you know too, it's a great opportunity for the quarterback to see his offense and the defense from the sidelines. Get a feel for it for Jake Kelchner.
No question about it. And the great thing about these two guys, they're so evenly talented that they don't vary what they do with the ball. I thought they actually did, because when we saw Kelchner play before, he was banged up and they didn't run him. But now that he's healthy, they say everything is exactly the same.
That was Jimmy Freeman for the first down, the fullback for the Mountaineers. I'll tell you, Studstill has to be one of the most popular figures in the state of West Virginia. Fans up there remember in the 4th quarter, Kelchner out with the injury. Studstill comes in, leads them to 2 touchdowns, including that winning pass, the play they will not forget, the wide receiver Ed Hill, and that was the game breaker. Kept the Mountaineers unbeaten. Straight back, Studstill takes off out of the pocket. Oh, the throw unload on him at the 33. And the Gators sideline is in ecstasy over that hit.
Don't anybody ever say those Gators will not hit. He came right up underneath the chin.
Here's how it sounds, folks.
Maybe it's time to take me out for a break, Coach. You think Jake wants to play?
That's the kind of hitting we're having here tonight, with West Virginia trying to stay unbeaten, trying to present an argument that they deserve to be considered for a national championship. The Gators, on the other hand, come away with another title in the Southeastern Conference. 2nd and 6 now for West Virginia. Here come the Gators. Studstill gets it off with Groh coming blindside, and Hill can't hang on.
Studstill got hit so hard up underneath the chin, he didn't completely fasten the chin strap. You can see it hanging right down here, the one strap. It's lucky, lucky he was wearing that nice blue mouthpiece in there. See it in his mouth?
It's 3rd and 6, and if there was any one play that may have defined this first half, it was that hit by Monty Groh. And that hit is so...
He's confused. I'd take him out of there.
I'm not sure he knows what's going on.
Yeah, get it out of there.
Darren comes over. I'm okay, Coach.
Yeah.
Really, I am. It's the equipment. You've got to get me better equipment. I'm fine. Nothing wrong with me, Coach. When's the Orange Bowl continue? How's about this Nebraska team?
It's hard to believe, but the first flights used to set down in La Crosse, Madison, and Milwaukee on the way to Chicago. It took nearly 4 hours, give or take an hour. Now they're the #1 on-time airline for a 3rd year in a row.
Your flight's on time.
It's just one more thing you don't have to worry about.
Some people just know how to fly. Every day, we all find a way. A promise made, a promise kept, giving it our best.
Napa, we're the most complete source for auto parts, and all Napa parts are backed by a nationwide warranty program. No wonder more Americans trust Napa to keep their vehicles running.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
You know, if life were perfect, women wouldn't talk during the bottom of the night.
Yeah, and magazines would never smell like perfume.
No. See, if life were perfect, potato chips would cure hair loss. Dogs would walk themselves.
And algebra. It would actually come in handy. Well, hey, at least there's Amstel Light. It's only 95 calories.
Yeah, but it still has that real imported taste.
Nothing's missing. Amstel Light is a great beer. Look, if life were perfect, you'd buy the next round.
All right. I'm buying.
You got a camera?
I don't like soldier boys.
I think war's just been declared.
Clint Eastwood's taking no prisoners. Oh, in Heartbreak Ridge Sunday.
ABC Sports coverage of the 1994 USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. Brought to you by USF&G Insurance. USF&G, the difference is understanding. And Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of 1994 Lincoln and Mercury automobiles.
Welcome back to the USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. And, folks, he wasn't even celebrating last night on Bourbon Street. He took a standing 8 count over there. It took 2 equipment men to repair Studstill's helmet. Where's that guy, that number 10? I hope he's not coming after me again.
Doc Holliday, the receiver coach, and Coach Nealand giving him the count test.
Monty Groh settles in defensively again. Kearney, who scored for the Mountaineers, steps in motion. Studstill, and Groh had him on the release. Interception, as it was Groh who forced it that time. And now, what a return this is by Lawrence Wright. He's still going. Lawrence Wright is going to take it in. Have you ever seen a return like this?
They came with an all-out blitz. Monty Groh, who just got the great hit, comes off the left side. They could not account for him. Coming from the outside here, they picked up the inside people, not him. Wham! He creates the errant throw. Lawrence Wright picks it off. Third one of the year, redshirt freshman. Now he becomes a runner. Look at him. He's excited about it. He's picking up blocks downfield. No one's going to clip anybody. They protect that. He's going to take it in.
That's one of the greatest interception returns for a touchdown I've ever seen. 52 yards for Wright. Judd Davis pounds in the extra point. And I'll tell you who turned this game around as far as Florida's concerned is number 10, Monty Groh. He set up Wright. You better go over and thank number 10. Gators lead it by 7.
Your insurance, therefore, insures the purchase of any additional liability coverages in excess of whatever a minimum coverage amounts is stated in the below insured entries based upon a waiver of uninsured coverages exceeding the minimum required by insurance law. The insurance company's share is the proportion that our limit of liability bears between the total of applicable limits and insures those things which have been damaged. You, as first name insured, moreover.
At USF&G, we believe that only when you understand your insurance are you truly covered. USF&G. The difference is understanding.
Corning presents an exciting debut, Pink Plus, a new insulation that's silky to the touch. The reason? Pink Plus is our famous pink fiberglass insulation wrapped in smooth pink poly, which also makes it extra easy to install. So get in touch with a premier insulation. For the Pink Plus dealer nearest you, call 1-800-GET-PINK.
We're using high-resolution robotic cameras in order to give you a closer look at the fit and finish of our Lincoln cars. To achieve this kind of quality, we not only employ technologically advanced machines, we also employ dedicated people who bring to Lincoln a craftsmanship that can't be duplicated by a mere machine. Sorry, fellas. Lincoln, what a luxury car should be.
The high-scoring 49ers are ready to pan for playoff gold, but first they try to ground the Eagles on the season finale of ABC's Monday Night Football.
Well, Monty Groh and Lawrence Wright turned things around in a big, big way for the Gators here in the second quarter. First, it was Groh unloading on Darren Studstill. Then, after a Mountaineer timeout, Groh forced an interception. And Lawrence Wright on a cutback, and it was Groh with a knockdown block that helped open the way. Then he gets up and throws a second block. He forces the interception and then makes two key blocks to open the way.
You know, the other day I talked to Ron Zook, the defensive coordinator, and I asked him to describe Monty Groh to me. He said he's one of those guys that you always say he's not that talented, he's not this, but all he does is win for you. He's a winner type, and he demonstrates it there. He was so excited his redshirt freshman year when he came out the tunnel for his first football game to play in. He got a bloody nose, and they couldn't stop him from bleeding.
Logan and Vanderpool back deep for the Mountaineers with Edge kicking it off, and the Gators up by 7. Logan will let this one bounce and fields it anyway. Didn't let it go out of bounds, was fearful someone would come, slips a tackle. Now the freshman tries to battle his way back, and here he comes. Now it's Logan's turn out to the 15-yard line. Well, if this is Sandlot football, folks, I'm in favor of more of it. What about you?
It's tough football. Both teams are hitting each other. Logan out of McKeesport, Pennsylvania, captain MVP of his high school team, played the Big 33 All-Star game. He's playing like an All-Star right here. Probably should have let that ball go out of bounds. Fortunately, he didn't step on the out-of-bounds marker. Now he picks up a few blocks right there. He cuts back. He's going to run a reverse. He shuffle steps.
Officially, it's a 9-yard return. Unofficially, about 35.
At least.
Studstill is still in, and you better believe when he comes up to the line, he's taking a quick look and trying to figure out now where is number 10 camped this time. And he has to keep it on a botched handoff with the fullback being involved back there, and Cameron Davis making the stop for the Gators.
Brent, he wanted to hand off their little sprint draw play they've been working all week. The draw play is designed to start the quarterback rolling out. They want to roll the quarterback out, pull the linebackers this way, and hand the ball back like that. You'll see that they mishandle the exchange right here. Actually, what happened is Woodward fell down. That's why they couldn't handle it.
Studstill to Kearney, and this time it's Shea Showers making the big hit.
Both teams demonstrating really sound tackling technique. That's a credit to the coaches. Ron Zook, who coaches the secondary, but both teams tackling really well.
I believe that when the media gets down and interviews the Gators afterwards, that they're going to tell them that the way this game started, they resented the way they were being hit by West Virginia, and that helped turn this team around and inspire them, because they have really been hitting since that early going. And remember, Jack Arute told us that Eric Rhett was complaining about a shot in the small of the back. Monty Groh then comes in, delivers a big hit. Now we've seen Showers. Studstill under pressure again, and he steps back and hits Eddie Hill out of bounds. That's for a first down.
You know, they've been using this quarterback rotation thing all year. I was never confident enough to do it. I was always concerned that I would break the rhythm of my better quarterback, my starting quarterback. Because you know what? Actually, Kelchner was doing a heck of a job. He takes them for a long drive for the touchdown and everything, but it's worked for them.
I think that Coach Neyland and the entire staff, they owe this to Studstill to play in this game. What he did against Boston College, and the fact that Jake has been injured this year, he accepts this stick. Ordinarily, I would really jump on your bandwagon.
I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. It's a different successful ratio. It doesn't happen very often.
Coming down on the option, Studstill's going to keep it, cuts in, and Studstill out to the 36 and demonstrating a little toughness himself, isn't he?
That's that end over motion where they're getting the extra blocker at the point of attack. They end up one short at the point of attack.
Well, Wednesday night on ABC, Brian Dennehy stars in the premiere of Birdland. From the producer of Awakenings and Sneakers comes a wonderful new series, Birdland, Wednesday at 10, 9 Central Time on ABC. And get word that might be a pretty good series to check in on. He's a fine actor, isn't he? Second down now for West Virginia, trailing Florida 14-7. Second quarter, 2nd and 2. Hill steps in motion, and Studstill hands to Walker. Walker first down and then some. Walker to the 45-yard line. Monty Groh brings him down.
See, you get those defensive linemen rushing upfield. This defensive line, Carter, Johnson, Gaines, and Campbell, they're the strength of that defensive football team. They're very aggressive. 41% of the plays they've made as a group have been across the line of scrimmage. They're aggressive. They take advantage of that aggressiveness that time with the lead draw.
Well, we can show you how the quarterbacks compare right now, the two of them. 7-8's tough.
These guys compare statistically in everything except interception ratios. Believe me, Kelchner's interception ratio is not as bad as
a play fake by Studstill, rolls over to the right, away from pressure, fires, and it was almost complete. And Hill complaining that he was interfered with at the 35 by Ben Hanks. The official says, good defense.
He was on him quick. Couldn't tell if he got there too soon. Top of your screen, very top. The ball thrown outside there. He's going for the ball. He had to stop there. Here comes Hank. No, I think that's good. That's good defense. He got around there. Did not look like he got there early.
2nd and 10, and Nate Ryan brings the play in from Coach Neyland's sideline. With the Gator offense watching from the near side. This is Ryan. He'll come over to the left side of the formation. Off a fake to Walker. They go back to the right side, and this time it's Mike Baker. And he is hit by Larry Kennedy.
Brent, off that very same action away, little hook, they have a hook and go in the game plan. As soon as they get him to come up and bite at that aggressively in that one-on-one coverage, they will use it.
You know, one of the things that has happened in this defensive backfield with Lawrence right back there, he has replaced Michael Gilmore, and he has been operating at free safety. for the Gators. There he is. He turned in the 52-yard interception return for the touchdown. Now, he was used at safety earlier this year, then switched back to the corner, but he's back in center field now. The fullback to the 44-yard line, and that was Rodney Woodard losing his helmet.
Everybody's getting helmets knocked off. I think that's the third one we've seen bouncing around the field. Fasten those chin straps, guys. You're in a war out there.
.5:30 to go. As far as the style of this game is concerned, this is West Virginia football.
You bet. Run right at you. They try to strip the ball there. There goes the helmet off right again. That chin strap is not sound.
Yeah, Florida leads on the scoreboard, but this is the kind of game that the Mountaineers wanted in here in the Sugar Bowl. Blitz. Studstill won't get it off. Loose ball. It was down at the 46-yard line.
This is what they call, Ron Zook, the defensive coordinator, told me about. They call it the big shadow defense. See, they have 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this is a linebacker. If it's a pass, he'll drop out. If it's a run, he'll attack. They will also use a 5th defensive lineman in that position. See Robinson back out of there. Now here comes the blitz. Pressure on him, and he gets a piece of him. See those 5 guys now. You cover all those people there. No offensive lineman gets any help from the other guy. They're all involved in blocking.
The ball is down at the 46-yard line. Second and 12 now, and Studstill hands off, and William Gaines, a big, talented defensive lineman, read it beautifully.
First team All-SEC, the leader of the defense. 295 pounds, an excellent soccer player, a great athlete, didn't play football until his senior year. Here he is right here. He'll jump around quickly. See, doesn't get any help now. Watch him jump around. He jumps around there. The guard didn't give the center any help because the linebacker was up there as that 5th person occupying that left guard, Tom Robzak. Boy, that's tough on the center.
Well, here's 3rd and 15 with Jake Kearney bringing the play in. And they're going to have to hurry. They've got only 4 seconds to get this play off. I don't know if Studstill sees it. Down to 1. Studstill did not get it off. Studstill did not get the snap off. Had he looked down between the goalposts at the snap clock, he would have seen it. And this is going to cost Donnie and the Mountaineers.
That's Coach Nealon on your right. Doc Holliday, the receiver coach there in the middle, accepting the signal calls from the press box being called down there by Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator. And also the quarterback coach, Dan Simrell. They were at fault last time for the delay of the game penalty. They just didn't get the play in quick enough. It was not Studstill's fault.
Well, a reminder that coming up this week, Olympic berths on the line. ABC Sports has live primetime coverage of the U.S. Figure Skating Championships. Thursday night, Brian Boitano goes for the gold in the men's finals. That's coming up on ABC. And now Studstill under pressure. Incomplete. Wow. Matt Pearson, number 47.
Boy, are they popping each other. Oh, Matt Pearson really gave it to him.
Dick, I have not seen the Gators hit like this all season. I've watched tapes of the Florida game, the Tennessee, even against Alabama.
And, you know, they come here with a reputation of not being the toughest group.
I want to tell you, you'd never know it by the night. Sauerbrunn under pressure, and they force a bad punt. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 2:55 to go, and that's only a 29-yard punt for Sauerbrunn, way below his average.
Finding the right spokesperson for Mercury wasn't easy at first. The famous basketball player, you know, the one who can jump so high, wanted too much money. The famous actress got a last-minute movie deal. The famous race car driver didn't have room on his uniform for our logo. And this guy? No. But then it hit us. Why not use real people? People like you and me. We'd let them drive the cars and experience firsthand the great Mercury ride in the fully equipped comfort. They'd be so impressed, they'd tell their friends, and their friends would tell their friends. And in the end, maybe we wouldn't need a famous spokesperson. Let the cars speak for themselves. Of course, we have to admit, a nice slow-motion slam dunk would have been pretty neat, too. All this and the quality of a Mercury.
When it comes to paint, we're making a name for ourselves because we make our own and guarantee its quality. That's Ace, the name to know for paint.
Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Look to us for special delivery. Call us. We'll arrange to pick you up at your home, office, or repair shop. That's special delivery. That's Enterprise.
The way they were. Florida coach Steve Spurrier on the left won a Heisman Trophy with the Gators. On the right, Donnie Nealon, as he appeared when he played quarterback at Bowling Green. Then coached there, went up to Bo Schembechler's staff. Steve was a success at the United States Football League with the Tampa Bay Bandits. Turned around the Duke football program. Both excellent college football coaches, teachers, and men. You'd enjoy playing for either one of them. Now on 1st and 10, Dean drops it off to Rhett. They set a little screen for him, and Rhett out to the 32-yard line, and Richardson making still another stop.
Little screen. I love that kind of football play. People don't run it often enough in college because if the back catches the ball behind the line of scrimmage, the offensive lineman can release, go downfield right now and form that screen. People don't run it often enough.
2nd and 3.
Jumping into a Bear defense.
And they cover the tight end with 2 and then come after it. And they run against it with Rhett out to the 34-yard line, short of the first down.
And they don't even get the middle linebacker picked up. The guy that picks him up is the running back, Eric Rhett. He just makes him missing. Excellent running. Great vision and quickness to respond to what he sees.
Well, here's the 3rd and short. 1:57 first half. Florida 14, West Virginia 7. Terry Dean with the basic power eye keeps it himself for the first down. The young man from Naples, Florida, very discouraged earlier this year when he had lost his starting job to Danny Wuerffel. That came after the Kentucky game. Then in the middle of the Georgia game, he suddenly got it back. And against Florida State, Wuerffel injured his knee. Dean went all the way against Alabama in that victory for the SEC championship. In his disappointment, he talked about transferring, but he says now he's changed his mind, fully expects to be back at Gainesville and playing for Spurrier next year. Avoids trouble, throws left sideline, could be intercepted off the deflection. Incomplete is the ruling. Matt Toffoni deflecting the ball.
Toffoni told me he was going to pick one off the other day when I saw him eating lunch with his family at the hotel. He says, Coach, I'm going to pick one off. Darn near got it.
Well, the Wavy Lays halftime report has come up, and John Saunders will come along with the scores and highlights. You'll hear from Barry Alvarez on his great win with the Badgers, and Joe Paterno. How about Joe Pa doing it again, huh? And in great fashion against the Volunteers of Tennessee, a team we thought was as good as any when the season ended. Against 3-man rush, Dean over the middle, hits the open man at midfield for another Florida first down. Tommy Orr was the defender on Willie Jackson.
See, you're into a 2-minute drill. You're going to expect some draws and some screens. So what do? They run a draw fake and throw the curl. Fake to the fullback in here, freeze the 2 backers, run the curl in behind the fake. Good job, good execution, good use. See how loose they're playing that in the 2-minute drill.
Jackson, Willie's underneath, and he slips for another Gator first down, depending on where they spot that, as Derek Wiley, number 45, is the defender for the Mountaineers.
And they have 2 timeouts left right now with 1:06 to go. Steve Spurrier is the head coach, yes, but he is also his own offensive coordinator and calls all the plays himself.
West Virginia sends in its dime defensive package now. They fully expect Spurrier to take a shot here with a minute to go. Dean, once Jackson's got it, defender falls. He will simply walk on in. There is a flag down, but I'm not so sure West Virginia wasn't offside on the play. I think this is going to hold up over here. Willie Jackson simply walked in. They got their one-on-one coverage here on the sideline, and they burned it for 39 yards.
You can see why Willie Jackson holds the school record for touchdowns in a career at the University of Florida. Came in with 24. Blitz, they're coming at him. They can't pick up the blitz. Good presence, good awareness of what was happening. He lets the ball go in rhythm, gets it to him. Right now he doesn't know he's going to score, but they get it.
There's a quality play by Terry Dean as Richardson was taking him down on the blitz. He knew he had the one-on-one over here on the sideline. Got it to Jackson, who scored. And they swing the gate now for the extra point for Davis.
That's when you know the quarterback has total understanding of what the defense is doing and where he has to go with the ball to get out of trouble.
So we'll take a break here at the USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. The Gators now lead it.
Your business is like his business. It's like this business.
It's like that business.
It's like show business. It's like shoe business.
It's like business one is like business two.
It's like his business. It's like her business. It's like business 899. It's like business 989.
Just like his business.
So your business is what business?
At USF&G, we make it our business to know yours. Because only when we understand your business are you truly covered. USF&G, the difference is understanding.
The Lincoln Mark 8's revolutionary suspension automatically lowers the car at high speeds for better handling and less wind resistance, which raises the bar for everyone else. The Lincoln Mark 8. Tried everything else first.
Let me correct that graphic when we went to commercial. I think it's at 17-7. Obviously, the Gators had scored the touchdown and lead it now 21-7 over West Virginia and Donnie Nealon, and they find themselves trailing by 2 touchdowns here at halftime as Terry Dean has done an excellent job at quarterback for the Gators. Shane Edge to kick it off. Logan and Vanterpool. Vanterpool is 26, standing back at the 2-yard line. The Mountaineers with 51 seconds left here in the first half.
Ooh, nice pick.
Man has a leg, doesn't he? Get it down. And it'll come out on the 20-yard line.
They go to 3 receivers normally in the 2-minute drill. Here comes Kelchner back because he probably has a little more experience of running the 2-minute drill, but yet it's been Studstill in the 4th quarter that's pulled him back out of games.
And something for fans to remember in the college game. A 2-minute drill can be a 1-minute drill. When you stop the clock on a first down, you can use the middle of the field if you pick up the first down. You've got 51 seconds. You've got Sauerbrunn. He has a long leg. Kelchner off a short drop. He'll work the sideline. Clock is stopped there after a 6-yard gain. That was Jay Kearney who scored the touchdown on a 32-yard pass from Kelchner. Mountaineers led it by 7, and the Gators have scored 3 unanswered touchdowns against Coach Nealon. Second down with 46 seconds on the game clock. Kelchner will try to get to the sideline if he can. He does. He'll stop it at 40. Took 6 seconds, and Larry Kennedy getting him out of bounds.
You see how aggressively he runs. Yes, he had to get out of bounds, but I don't think we'll see him slide into second base at any time when he scrambles. It's just not part of his temperament. I met his grandmother and grandfather down there the other day when we were shooting that special. I asked him where he got this toughness. He said everybody in the family contributed.
Berwick, Pennsylvania needs the first down here. Bounces it. There's 35 seconds to go. You've got 4th and 2. What do you do?
Punt it away.
The punt team is ready, and here they come. You cannot risk a failure here and give the Gators at least a shot at an easy field goal.
Correct. Plus, they have an excellent punter, one of the best punters in the country. He's number 2 in the country in net punt right now, number 1 in the SEC.
The Gators line up 10. They've got speed out here on the wings. They're coming after him. Sauerbrunn gets it off.
Kicks it too low. That should be returned.
Palmer's got it at the 17-yard line. Palmer coming, and a penalty flag is thrown. Could be an illegal block. With 23 seconds on the clock, Kemmerling hustles back to see what his crew members got.
Both of these punters are very good. Sauerbrunn and Edge. You know, they have to fight against getting in this dome where there's no wind, no elements to worry about, and trying to kick it out the end of this, you know, because sometimes you just break your normal rhythm and you don't punt the ball as well.
A 55-yard punt.
I think it'd be smart now just to sort of flop on. There's no sense in, you know, you have momentum. Don't do anything stupid. Don't fumble the ball in any way. Just flop on, go on with that 14-point lead. West Virginia has one timeout. If they wanted to, they could stop it, but apparently they're not going to.
So Donnie Nealon will attempt to regroup and re-inspire his Mountaineers here for the second half. Meanwhile, Monty Grove, the Gatorback, he was the man who turned this game completely around when he unloaded on quarterback Darren Studstill. John Saunders, the Mountaineers have not been the same since.
Brent, exactly. Big first half for Florida. Welcome back to Bowl Day 94, presented by Wavy Lay's Potato Chips. Coming up at halftime, Joe Paterno with a bit of history in the Rose Bowl as well. That and more as we continue after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
With full confidence, I submit to you the portable economic package.
Senator, this will cost only $10.99.
$10.99.
That man's an idiot.
I'll say it again.
Would somebody call security?
$10.99.
What could anyone possibly get for $10.99?
I'm glad you asked.
Bigfoot Pizza from Pizza Hut with that special crust delivered for only $10.99.
Hey, Dad, who's going to sponsor this bill?
Bigfoot Pizza, a legendary value.
Yeah, I just got my AT&T Maximum Advantage statement.
The store owner needs a price advantage. Now, we at AT&T are dedicated to making sure you automatically get our lowest price, guaranteed. Introducing our specially trained AT&T service representatives and the Maximum Advantage Service Center. We'll help you get the most from our services at our lowest price.
We'll credit you the difference.
Because we want your business to have every advantage, as much as you do.
What's the spread on this stupid hockey game?
The LA Times calls Brian Dennehy compelling as Dr. Brian McKenzie.
Now this is your love line.
Looks more like a pen mark.
If you need a doctor...
All right, I'll be right there. Danger, danger, Will Robinson.
Must be a full moon.
You'd be lucky to have him.
I need Dr. McKenzie.
You're becoming a first-rate nurse.
I say send him down to neurology, get a full workup and a CAT scan.
How about we just talk to him first?
Brian Dennehy, Birdland, premieres Wednesday.
I'm Tanya Strong, and here's the latest news. A 20-year-old Fairport man rams his car into a train and lives to tell about it. We'll have details after the game.
5 on Your Side is looking out for you. We exposed how welfare cheats are ripping you off. We showed you how the Cleveland school system could be wasting your money. We tested gasoline in search of octane cheaters. It was here that we showed you what the CMHA police didn't want you to see. An undercover investigation revealed how you could be buying bad meat. We went undercover again to expose food stamp abuse. And we showed you how to get your day in small claims court. Bill Shield, David Shifter, and Tanya Strong are 5 on Your Side. Only on News Channel 5.
Your GMC truck dealer presents...
1 great name, 2-tier loading, 3 years protection, 4-wheel drive, 5 layers of paint. V6 power, 7 inches clearance,
room for 8 big people,
90 years of trucking,
10,000 pounds of towing,
11 different sizes, 12 striking colors, plus cashback, smart lease offers, value packages, all from GMC Truck.
See your 5-star GMC truck dealer today.
See all new Chrysler concept cars, Monday, live on 5.
F&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. Florida leading West Virginia right now 21-7. Elsewhere in the Orange Bowl, it's a 7-6 contest. The only touchdown, Tommy Frazier, 34 yards to Jerry Ball. Florida State only 133 yards of total offense in the first half. Earlier today on ABC, the CompUSA Florida Citrus Bowl. Penn State's Kerry Collins hands off to Brian O'Neill on the reverse to Bobby Ingram. 35 yards. It sets up a field goal. In this game, Penn State trailed 10-0, then went on a 31-3 tear. Kajana Carter, a big part of that tear. Here near the end of the first half, 14 yards, as you see the clock ticking down to 4 seconds, in for the touchdown, 17-13. Kerry Collins, the quarterback, goes to work. 6 yards, hooking up with Kyle Brady. 24-13, Penn State has the lead. For Heath Shuler, the big question, was this his final game in the Volunteer Orange? Here doesn't get much help as Billy Williams drops this pass just off his fingertips, and Shuler reacts, saying he should have had that one. Kerry Collins then goes 15 yards to Bobby Ingram, and Penn State has the victory. Tennessee has the loss, and was it the final game for Heath Shuler in college?
It's just going to be a process that I'm going to have to do what I have to do and make a good decision.
Joe Paterno, win number 15, tying him with Bear Bryant atop the bowl list. He spoke afterwards with John Spagnuolo.
Joe, congratulations on a great win today. Your 15th bowl victory. That ties Bear Bryant for first all time. How significant is that for you?
I don't really care a nickel about that. I'm just happy for these kids. They worked awfully hard to get this one, and they played about as well as you can play, except for the one bad play on a kicking play. We played well.
Kajana Carter had 2 rushing touchdowns. Kerry Collins threw for a pair of touchdowns. In the Hall of Fame Bowl, the Big Ten, a very big day as Michigan's Tyrone Wheatley, 26 yards in this touchdown run. 7-0 was the lead. For NC State, Terry Harvey is picked off by Clarence Thompson, stumbles but stays on his feet, goes 43 yards. NC State 6 turnovers, and Michael Caine knows you can't win turning the ball over. 42-7. Wheatley, 18 carries, 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. In the Fiesta Bowl, Miami and Arizona. Dan White, 13 yards to Troy Dickey. They missed the point after, but they were dancing. Frank Costa then sacked by Rob Waltrip at the 1-yard line. Chuck Levy with a very big day on the ground, 68 yards in this play. Looks like he stopped at the line of scrimmage, but takes off. 17 carries, 142 yards, 16-0 Arizona with the lead. And the mascots were even beginning to celebrate with the CPR on each other. Dan White had 14 yards to Troy Dickey again. 29-0. First time Miami's been shut out since November '79 against Alabama. First time in a bowl since the Orange Bowl of 1935. In the CarQuest Bowl, Glenn Foley of BC, 78 yards to Clarence Cannon as they take the lead on Virginia. 10-7 at that point. George Welsh could only stand by and watch as Foley had a terrific day. 46 yards to Keith Miller. 24-13 the lead. They win at 31-13. Foley, 36 attempts, 25 completions, almost 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. Still to come, the Rose Bowl highlights. Why is this man jumping for joy? Wisconsin's Barry Alvarez. We'll explain when we come back.
I'm John Lombardi, president of the University of Florida. One of the most important things we do in higher education is teach. Unfortunately, good teaching has often gone unrewarded, but here in Florida, we're doing something about that. Our best teachers, as chosen by their peers, are now eligible for a $5,000 pay raise, funded by our state legislature as a tangible way of saying that we appreciate the job they do.
The number one obligation of any faculty member is teaching, because the university lives because of its students.
Oh, it makes the student more interested and makes the student want to put more time and effort into studying and learning and participating in class.
Our students deserve the very best instruction we can give them. The Teaching Improvement Program provides the extra financial support that enables great teachers to keep doing what they do best.
A new set of academic standards will go into effect in 1995. To practice, play, or receive an athletic scholarship, freshmen will need a minimum grade point average of at least 13 core courses in high school and a minimum score on the SAT or ACT. Make it a point to talk to your coach or your guidance counselor about these requirements. Prepare yourself now. It's never too early to hit the books.
This message provided by the NCAA.
At BASF, we don't make the sneakers, we make them bouncier. We don't make the car, we make it more colorful. We don't make the leather, we make it jazzier. We don't make the helmet, we make it more comfortable. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
You know your NyQuil works. What'd you do? You tried the latest thing, so you coughed all night.
Got no rest. Ended up a zombie. And your proposal to the world's most demanding boss? Postponed until tomorrow. Which means you can take NyQuil tonight. You're stupid, Dave, but lucky.
Vicks NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine. Also new NyQuil Hot Therapy.
This holiday season, the insurance industry wants you to know we're working hard to make our roads safe for you and your family. We've supported tough drunk driving laws that have saved 40,000 lives in 10 years, mandatory seatbelt laws that have saved 30,000 lives, and child restraint laws that have spared the lives of 2,000 youngsters. On behalf of America's insurance companies, I'd like to wish you and your family a happy and safe New Year.
Welcome back. West Virginia thinks they might have a claim for the national championship, but right now they have to worry about the game. They're down to Florida 21-7. The second half still to come. Let's look to other games today. We'll move first to the Rose Bowl. UCLA and Wisconsin. Brent Moss, big day. 12 yards here. He goes in for the touchdown of 1 yard. 36 carries, 158 yards, 14-3. Barry Alvarez says, hey, we're in the hunt for this thing. Wayne Cook then hit by Carlos Fowler. The fumble is recovered by Wisconsin. Numerous turnovers for UCLA, 5 on the day. UCLA's Ricky Davis goes 12 yards here, though, for the touchdown. Wisconsin's lead is down to 14-10. But Darrell Bevell, the quarterback of Wisconsin, goes to work here. He's got no place to pass, so he just tucks his shoulder in and goes to the end zone. Nice move there. 21-10, Wisconsin in front, and time for Bevell to celebrate. Wayne Cook has a chance. Now look at the time. They have no timeouts left. No place to pass the ball. For some reason, he decides to run with no timeouts. He has no chance to get his team back on the line of scrimmage. Time expires, and Wisconsin has the victory. Barry Alvarez, it's time to jump, pretending he's Michael Jordan with the victory.
I felt confident coming in this game. I thought our kids were very focused. We play well at home. I told them before the game, doesn't Camp Randall Stadium, isn't it painted up pretty today? Felt like we had them come out and search this field out because we said we're going to have the majority of the crowd. We're in the home dressing room. We're wearing home jerseys. This is our home stadium.
And after the victory, starting safety Scott Nelson proposed to Becky Klefo. They will be married sometime in the future. He liked the victory. Wisconsin, first ever Rose Bowl win, 10 wins, the most in school history. Terry Donahue, first Rose Bowl loss. He's now 3-1. In the Cotton Bowl, Notre Dame and Texas A&M. Corey Pulick, 15 yards to Detron Smith, 14-7. Ray Zellers, though, had a big day. Here runs this one in from 2 yards out, tying the game at 14 apiece. Rodney Thomas goes in from just a yard out, 21-14. Then Kevin McDougal, watch the play action, will help him find Zellers out of the backfield, off the block. He's open. And this one helps set up a touchdown. Mark Edwards from just 2 yards out to tie the game at 21 apiece. From there, Lou Holt says, we must find a way to win this one if we have a shot at the national championship. And Mike Miller, 38 yards after he fields it at his own 40, takes off deep into Texas A&M territory, and it sets up the game-winning field goal. 31 yards by Kevin Pendergast, 24-21. Was it big enough? And if all things fall into place for Notre Dame to win the national championship, not likely. Lee Becton over 100 yards, 138 yards in the day. A&M had 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter. In the Heritage Bowl, teams from the MEAC and the SWAC teams have won all 3 Heritage Bowls. Southern wins it 11-0 is the final. We will continue with more of the U.S. F&G Insurance Sugar Bowl in just a moment. Florida leading West Virginia 21-7.
Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Look to us for special delivery. Call us. We'll arrange to pick you up at your home, office, or repair shop. That's special delivery. That's Enterprise.
When the doctor told me to come in right away, I was scared. This burning pain was real. Was eye relief when my doctor said Mylanta.
For heartburn, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
The universe is information. Information can be digitized. Digital data can be transmitted. Every book, every movie, every piece of knowledge in the universe, right here.
For 127 years, West Virginia University has been meeting expectations for their parents and their parents before them. But someday, the future will be in their hands. The quality of life, the country's health and wealth, the future will be theirs to call. And just how well they succeed will depend to a great extent on the quality of education that each receives. Waiting for them is a comprehensive university that continues to build upon a rich tradition and proud record of academic achievement, research, and public service. A mission of quality education that began in the mid-19th century and continues into the 21st. When they're ready, we'll be ready. West Virginia University.
If you want to be a bigger and stronger athlete, you have to be a bigger and stronger person. Steroids just make you think you are.
If you or someone you know needs help or information concerning drug abuse, call this toll-free number, 1-800-662-HELP. This message provided by the NCAA.
Florida leads West Virginia 21-7 at halftime. West Virginia fans have been claiming all along that they should be playing for the national championship. Right now, they have 30 minutes left to prove it. Back to Brent.
Well, that's exactly the case, John. They trail the Florida Gators here by a couple of touchdowns as we get ready to start the second half. And Dick Vermeil, I guess my question to you is, can the Mountaineers come back now?
No question in my mind they can. Now, they're going to have to keep playing defense. Remember the pass interception for the touchdown. They got the one lucky one on the blitz and one good drive. I definitely think they can come back.
Dick, let's take the folks through some of the highlights. There were some wonderful plays in the first half. West Virginia striking first, and here is Kearney.
Jay Kearney going to the post and breaking back and going to the corner. Turned lot inside out, almost stumbled and fell down. Thrown perfectly right on the money. Touchdown.
Now, this next sequence is absolutely amazing on the part of number 10, Monty Grove. He comes on the blitz against Darren Studstill. He had already jarred him with a bone-crushing tackle early. He's coming for the backside, and he forces this interception by Lawrence Wright. And then, Dick, Grove goes downfield and delivers two key blocks for Wright.
He gets a knockdown block and then a brush block that allows him to come back inside and keep running. You know, defensive teams are coached to respond correctly when a ball is intercepted. West Virginia did not respond correctly. They're coached how to defense an interception return. They didn't do a good job.
Now, Dick, tell me about the Gator quarterback, Terry Dean, on this play.
He reads the blitz coming. He knows he can get rid of the ball. It's tight bump and run coming. See, they did not disguise the blitz. He knew it was there. He was willing to take the hit. He laid it up. They tried to defense it there for that tight one-on-one, and Jackson comes down with it.
Yeah, the freshman defensive back can't give himself up like that. When he tripped, it was easy for Jackson to walk into the end zone. Now, here are the numbers from the first half. Each team turned it over one time apiece.
Each turned it over one time, and you can see really the stats are pretty darn even. Total offense, a little bit different, 66 yards there in favor of the University of Florida, and the rushing yards pretty much the same, passing yards a little bit on the Florida. Pretty even football game. Going to get more even the second half.
And we'll return with the second half. between West Virginia and Florida after these messages from our
ABC Sports coverage of the 1994 USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. Brought to you by USF&G Insurance. USF&G, the difference is understanding. And Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection.
West Virginia, Donnie Nealon, trailing the Florida Gators 21-7. And Spurrier appearing a little more relaxed than his counterpart over on the other sideline with that 2-touchdown advantage. Shane Edge will kick it off here to start the second half. Quarterback Terry Dean has directed this Gator lead with Edge now kicking it off. Logan, a yard deep. Logan to the 20, slammed down at the 23-yard line. And that was Sam McCorkle who made the stop. And let's go down to Jack Carew. Jack?
Well, Brett, Danny Warfel is not suited up, so we're able to talk to him. And Danny, what a big turnaround. It looks as if, and we surmised that maybe some of the rough play early made you guys turn the intensity up.
Yeah, I think it got our defense pumped up, excited a little bit. We had that big play. Lawrence made a great play, and things worked out for us.
What about the talk in the locker room? What did Coach Spurrier say to your Chargers?
He just said, get fired up, play 60 minutes, and the good Lord bless us, and we'll go and do the best that we can.
There you go, Brett.
Jake Kelchner hands to Walker. Walker on the first play. Burst 10 yards around the left side. Gilmore making the stop, and no surprise that Jake Kelchner out of Berwick, Pennsylvania, is back in here, and I would dare say that they'll probably put the game in his hands the rest of the way unless he goes out with an injury. You know, I've spoken about Berwick, Pennsylvania. Folks, since 1971, 15 quarterbacks from that city, 15 have gone on scholarship at colleges and universities. George Curry is the coach at Berwick. What a great job he does with the youngsters up there. The hand is to the fullback, and Jimmy Freeman, number 29, the junior, for about 5 more.
Already you can see what Coach Neyland decided to do at halftime. He talked to the offensive line. He said, you big grunts, we're going to come out and give you the responsibility. Coming off the ball, we're going to get after him.
Did you really call them grunts?
Oh, yeah, we call them grunts.
That's
Yeah, call them worse, too. Can't use it on here. I called my offensive lineman something one time, and I made him so mad they held on until the end of the season. And at the end of the season one night, a guy showed up at my house and really let me have it.
They did. Well, I'm glad he left you standing. Now he lost a partner, 2nd and 4, and Kelchner's back under pressure. Kelchner has an open man, and he overthrew Kearney here at the 46-yard line. Under pressure, it'll now be 3rd and 4 for the Mountaineers.
The man who put the pressure on was Ellis Johnson, and he's limping off the field right now. He's a junior out of Wildwood, Florida. Played at Wildwood High School.
But David Barnard, number 97, checks in. You picked up on him in the Alabama game.
Oh, I tell you, I thought he was the best defensive tackle in that ball game. I mean, he really got after him.
Well, the 3rd down for Kelchner and the Mountaineers. Jake stands in the pocket. Interference. No question. 1st down, Mountaineers. That was Anton Lott, the freshman. A little over-eager on that play. He knew it right away as he came up over the top too early. And the Mountaineers will move the chains.
Coach Zook told me that Lott has been the brunt of a lot of early criticism. You know, here he is, just a redshirt freshman playing right corner. The defense was struggling early in the year, and he got beat a little bit, but he said he is really a competitor. He's improved every football game, and he has great bloodlines, and Ronnie Lott is his cousin. You know this. He was born to hit.
So the ball is at the Mountaineers' 46-yard line. We start the second half here, and there are the first half possessions for West Virginia.
Yeah, that opening drive for a touchdown, 7 plays and punt. Then they fell apart for a little while until they got that 11-play drive going. Loading up.
Kelchner against the pressure, one-on-one, and he overthrows Baker.
Lott crowded him right there. He couldn't get around him cleanly. It slowed him down, broke the rhythm of the route. That's why the ball was overthrown. Good changeup by Coach Zook to come with the blitz. Came with 8 people. Hard to pick up all 8. You got to get rid of the ball.
2nd and 10. And the Gators with 4 down linemen. The backers come off a yard. Kelchner hit on the release, incomplete. Eddie Hill, the intended receiver, but he never had a chance.
They are playing very hard, aggressive football.
Well, I'll tell you, Steve Spurrier gets the ball back. It'll probably be 3 seconds before he's thrown it 3 times.
Well, you know, they ran the ball pretty well there in that first half, Brent. They ran the ball, and if they can both run and pass, they're really a problem for you.
This is 3rd and 10. Hill goes in motion. Kelchner high to Kearney and incomplete. West Virginia will punt.
When you throw the ball high like that, you're staying back on your back foot, not following through properly, and he just got it over the top. He needs that series to settle down. Expect him to come out in that next series and be a little bit sharper. He had time to throw that accurately.
Now he goes 0 for 4. Remember, it was the penalty which gained the Mountaineers their first down. And Sauerbrunn, who's been under pressure a couple of times, goes back to punt with Palmer, the return man.
Oh, nice punt. Look at that. Is that it? Almost, that's too good. Boy, did he nail that thing. That's an NFL leg if I've ever seen one.
54 yards. Ball coming out on the 20.
The Tahitian Islands welcomed over 100,000 vacationers last year. Not one of them, however, was a Lexus engineer. Why? Let's just say they were busy. The 1994 Lexus ES, improved, revised, refined, in a word, new.
Comic relief, sex.
If you have never watched the show, maybe you don't know how to laugh. So here are a few laughs that you can try at home.
There's the nervous laugh.
The polite laugh.
The big burly Viking laugh.
The 20 packs a day laugh. That's funny.
Now that you know how to laugh, join America's top comedians live for one of the biggest comedy events of the year.
And then there's the laugh that only dogs can hear.
Ow! Comic Relief 6, live and only on HBO.
Your insurance, therefore, insures the purchase of any additional liability coverages in excess of whatever minimum coverage amounts are stated in the below insured entries based upon a waiver of uninsured coverages exceeding the minimum required by insurance law. The insurance company share is the proportion that our limit of liability bears between the total of applicable limits and insures those things which have been damaged. You, as first name insured, moreover.
At USF&G, we believe that only when you understand your insurance are you truly covered. USF&G, the difference is understanding.
Tuesday, we found Marino's notebook at that crime scene.
When Kelly's loyalty is put to the test.
Kelsey's name is in that book.
How far will he go to save a friend? NYPD Blue, viewer discretion advised.
Back at the Superdome, Florida 21, West Virginia 7. The Gators' first possession of the second half. Harrison Houston, the wide receiver out to Dean's right. Jack Jackson comes to the left. The toss is to Rhett, the give back, and Dean will throw off a familiar play. Rolls to the right, nobody there. Dean steps out with a first down. And penalty flags come flying on the hit after Dean was out of bounds. Wes Richardson over there on the far side, and the Gator quarterback is okay as he bounces up.
They came with the flea flicker again, not with the intent to go for the touchdown. They were trying to throw the deep square in. It was not there. Good pressure on the outside by Steve Perkins that came around, and here's the personal foul on Wes Richardson.
Coach Nealon doesn't agree with the flag on...
Either that or he doesn't agree with the play made by the linebacker, one or the other.
And the penalty moves the ball out to the Gators' 46-yard line. Dean with 3 wide receivers. Jackson has one-on-one with Beasley off to the left, and they're going to give it to, on the end around, Frazier, the track man. And he is out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Jack Jackson leading the way.
You don't see that kind of a play very often. Very clever. Man in motion. Time it out perfectly. Give the ball to the man in motion. Fake back. Quarterback will go back out the other side. You can ooh, nice knockdown block right there. You can expect to see that series grow as the ball game goes on.
They'll bring it through, hand it off, and throw a pass off it. So they have a whole sequence off of that play with Darrell Frazier, the senior wide receiver, number 25, coming around. Here is Rhett. Nothing doing. Short of the first down. Scott Gaskins with a big defensive play for the Mountaineers.
Gaskins did a good job. So did Derek Wiley, was out there in that wide possession. He turned the back end so Gaskins could make the play.
So Steve Spurrier, and those of you over in Florida, of course, are well aware of all the stories, as there usually are, about Steve this time of year, about going to this or that pro team, expansion teams now in Charlotte, Jacksonville. As Eric Rhett picks up a first down, and to get more on that story, let's go to Jack Arute. Jack?
Well, Brent, let's ask Jeremy Foley, who's the athletic director at the University of Florida. What is the situation with Steve Spurrier as it applies to the NFL?
Well, Jack, we've been telling people the last month, Steve's coming back to be a Gator. He loves the University of Florida. He's getting ready to sign a contract extension. I'll keep him at the University of Florida to the year 2000. So those rumors need to be put to bed. He's a Gator and will be one for a long, long time.
At the present time, before the contract is signed, the extension, how long does he have on his contract?
He has 6 years left on the current contract. So we think, again, he's going to be with us for a long, long time.
End the conversation, Brent.
Yeah, I would agree. In talking to Steve about it, he's extremely comfortable over in Gainesville. Loves the family life. And now Dean goes to Jack Jackson, incomplete at the end zone. Aaron Beasley drawing that one-on-one coverage. They've been able to isolate him with the wide man.
Big Jason Odom did a real nice job of pass protecting that time, getting into the time. Here he is on the right side of your screen. See, he jams properly. Good pass rush there by Perkins. He's not assisting, you know, he wants to get to the quarterback as well, but the initial jam technique really helped it.
Second down and 10. Rhett goes in motion, leaving Randolph to slip out. Dean firing to Willie Jackson. Breaks a tackle from Beasley, and Willie finally out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
Another flag down. They change up what they do on the different down and distance situations continually through this ball game. Come out first down run, come out first down pass, come out second long run, come out second long pass, and they're really doing a good job of keeping West Virginia off balance, especially when they're trying to mix their coverages.
Well, remember 2 years ago when the Gators lost to Notre Dame here in the USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. In that game, it was power football on the part of Notre Dame, in particular fullback Jerome Bettis. Steve Spurrier and the Gator coaching staff well remembers that night, determined not to have a repeat here. Here is Rhett slipping for a yard to the 14-yard line. Brown tackles him.
He runs with a real nice wide base. He can cut left or right, and in doing so, though, he's not one of those guys that makes the drastic right and left cuts. He still keeps going the ball up with the ball upfield. Swain in the middle of the field there, number 52, offensive center, doing a good job. See, he gets a little help with his guard, but he uses a good takedown hold. They all learn to do that. A 3.47 chemistry student. Academic all-conference. Outstanding young man.
Interesting formation. Wide receivers at tight end. Dean sprints to the right, throws incomplete. Aubrey Hill, number 82, was the intended receiver.
You never know where the quarterback is going to be when he ends up throwing the football. They drop him back, they play action with him, they do as they did then, the full sprint out, they toss the ball to a back, and he gives it back to the quarterback in a flea flicker, and they throw it. And they've got some others that are very clever that we have yet to see.
The score here would be huge for Florida. They lead at 21-7. This is their first drive of the second half. Rhett comes to the short side of the field in motion. And Dean with a straight drop over the middle, incomplete, the receiver, and penalty called. Interference. David Mayfield was working against Willie Jackson.
See what they did, Brent. They ran the back in motion. Eric Rhett back in motion to the short side of the field. The coverage rotated.
On the defense. By rule, the ball will be placed on the 2-yard line. First down.
The defense rotated over. That put the safety on what normally is a tight end in that formation. This time it's a wide receiver. Much different animal.
Offset toss, Rhett to the flag, and the Gator touchdown.
Fine block by Charlie Dean, the tight end.
Well, there's the 4 scores you knew Florida would come up with tonight. They average better than 30 points a game in this high-power offense.
Coming right at us, the tight end reaches out there, gets a block. He gets a kick-out block with a fullback. He takes it on in, and I really think the tight end was holding on that one, really holding on that outside backer. Spurrier liked that one. Boy, now it is really going to be tough for West Virginia. Takes them out of the kind of football that they like to play.
And Davis adds the extra point. He's perfect. 4 of 4. Florida 28, West Virginia 7.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
Owens Corning presents an exciting debut, Pink Plus, a new insulation that's silky to the touch. The reason? Pink Plus is our famous pink fiberglass insulation wrapped in smooth pink poly, which also makes it extra easy to install. So get in touch with a premier insulation. For the Pink Plus dealer nearest you, call 1-800-GET-PINK.
The Lexus GS is equipped with a vehicle speed-sensitive steering system so responsive that it actually improves your feel for the road. Now, the only thing more exhilarating than watching the Lexus GS is driving it. The Lexus GS.
They are our country's best, but only 2 will make the Olympics. It's a primetime showdown in the ladies' final of the Legs U.S. Figure Skating Championships next Saturday night on ABC.
The most prolific running back in the history of Florida football has scored twice here tonight at the USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. He also is one of the most colorful. I want to stay away from this guy when he brings out his 11-foot python snake. That's Eric Rhett's favorite pet, Dick.
Yeah, and the pet, the mild pet that he has is a pit bull. He's really a friendly guy. No wonder he runs so tough.
This is Logan again, and the freshman is out to the 10. Fumble! Gators.
Actually, one of his own men coming back to peel back block disrupted him enough to cause the fumble once he was hit by the Florida player. He takes the ball back. He's coming up. He's going to get over. See, they're running a right return. Left as we look at it. Now, you'll see a blue jersey flash right there. Lovett Purnell, number 82, strips him of the football. Didn't get out of his way. Ran right into him. Caused the fumble.
And now the Gators will go for the stranglehold, leading 28-7. The turnover inside the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for Florida. Houston and Hill are the wide receivers. Bilkey is the fullback. And Eric Rhett the tailback.
Looks like they're going to run it coming out here on 1st down, Brent. Now he's audible. He didn't like that run from the sideline call. He's changing.
Short drop, fire one-on-one. Willie Jackson out of bounds inside the 10.
See, as we sit up here and look down on the I formation, when the tailback is deep from the fullback, they run the football. When he's up closer to him, they either play patch or you get him in a position to go out for a pass in that closer position. That time he was deep. They were going to run it. He saw the coverage. He audible, got to split backs. That'll teach him to call a running play on 1st down.
Now the offset of the pitch look, and here it is. Behind Bilkey, Rhett slams to the 4-yard line.
Matt Tafoni did a good job of turning it back inside, but that offensive line, Jason Odom and those people on the right side, Jim Watson and Charlie Dean, are coming off the ball well and keeping inside pursuit from getting there. To the right side of your screen, Jason Odom, you see Watson, 73. See him pick that man up right there. That created that little alley so they could mushroom up inside there.
3rd and 1. At the 5. Dean uses a timeout. What a reminder, tomorrow night on ABC, it'll begin with new episodes of America's Funniest Home Videos. Then the new America's Funniest People. Clint Eastwood's in neither of those. Lois and Clark. The New Adventures of Superman, perhaps. But no, that last one, folks, has got to be starring Clint Eastwood. He is a Heartbreak Ridge kind of guy.
That's an old Marine movie, that one.
Yeah. He's got that old Marine look.
Michigan coming on strong. You know, at the last couple games of the season, they might have been the best team in the Big Ten, or at least close to it. They really came on strong at the end.
Not be taking anything away from those Badgers.
Oh, hey, can't do that. Boston College, Tom Coughlin did a great job there this year. Barry Alvarez beat my Bruins soundly. Great win by Coach Holtz. Nobody does any better job in bowl games than the old Coach Holtz. Look at this one. They're hanging in there tough.
By time, I'll take the 17.5.
What are you talking about?
No, I don't know. 3rd down now. The ball is at the 5-yard line. Here it is, 28-7. And the Gators hungry for more.
Up by 21, 3rd and 1. It's a 2-down for 1st down call. Tailback lined up a little bit deeper. See this gap right here? If he gets up tighter, then they throw it. If he's back deeper, they normally run it.
Houston in motion. Eric Rhett. 1st and goal.
There's another helmet popping off. People hitting people. That's Mike Collins, who set a school record for 29 passes defense. Need the helmet to do that. Nice hole. Good isolation. Fundamental play. Fullback leading through. It's Chris Bilkey, number 39. Excellent blocker lead. Good turnout block by Odom. Good fullback block there by Bilkey. 1st down, goal to go.
The I formation. Eric Rhett will try to get his 3rd, and he stopped short. That was Richardson. Dean getting the play call from Steve Spurrier, who is the offensive coordinator as well as the head coach. Second and goal. Rhett is behind Bilkey. Houston. And it's Rhett again, slashing, diving, reaching, has it. His 3rd touchdown of the game. West Virginia came in here having allowed only 8 rushing touchdowns all season, and Eric Rett has 3 himself tonight.
Boy, and I'll tell you, he earned this one, showing his character. Great reach and get the ball in the end zone. His body was not going to get in there. They toss it to him deep so he can get the ball seated. He gets a kick-out block here by Bilkey, leading right there. Then he watch him reach. Now, right now, he knows he's going down. Look at, oh, nice effort. Breaks that plane. That's all he has to do. Like those kind of football players. They inspire everybody. Coaching staff, school, alumni, athletic people.
Davis. And the Gators, losers here 2 years ago, are well on their way to the title in this year's Sugar Bowl.
Wavy Lays presents Look Who's Making Waves.
Rick Meyer. This rookie quarterback has always wanted to be a star. Listen up.
Yeah, I remember back in 2nd grade, Mrs. Robertson asked me, Rick, what do you want to be when you grow up? I knew exactly what I wanted to be. A rock star. Now I'm just an NFL quarterback. Dad! Fresh out of Notre Dame, 1st-round pick. Starting every game for the Seattle Seahawks. That's right, Seattle, the rock capital of the world. The dream lives on. Yes!
This Lexus LS 400 is about to shift from 1st to 2nd to 3rd and to 4th. We thought we'd take the opportunity to point this out. It would be so difficult for you to tell on your own.
When the Gators look back on this season, they will remember this timeout as Eric Zeier fired one in. They put the 5 back on because timeout had been called legally. Georgia didn't score the touchdown. And then a penalty flag was called on the Gators in the end zone against Lott, and it gave Zeier one last crack. But the incompletion, and Florida stayed on track for the Eastern Division title of the SEC. They beat Alabama in the championship game in Birmingham, and here they are leading West Virginia 35-7. And the athletic director saying that Steve Spurrier is going to be a force to be reckoned with for a lot of years over there in Gainesville. This is Vanderpool. Vanderpool slammed short of the 20-yard line. And down we go to Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, Brent, it's no surprise, but it's a surprise to me to see just how listless West Virginia has become with these unanswered points. You look behind me, there's no spirit at all. They're the most downtrodden group of players that I've ever seen. And one of the things that I think might account for it are these huge Diamond Vision screens. Not only do they see the scores in person down in the field, but then you see all their eyes look up and see it again. It's like getting hit twice in the same play.
That would make the score, Jack, 70-14.
Yeah.
1st and 10. Jake Kelchner will try to light a fire. It's a flickering flame for the unbeaten Mountaineers. Instead of high, this one's low on the bounce to Baker.
You know, since they took him out and he's come back in, you know, he set that whole time. He really has not been sharp at all. He was 0 for 4 in the last series, 0 for 5 as so far in this half. And remember, initially, he was right on the money.
Second and 10. Knowing the Mountaineers must pass, the Gators defensive lineman able to tee off, complete to Mike Baker, and a 1st down, West Virginia.
This is not the style of football they like to play, but now they're forced to play this kind of football, and they have people that can make big plays, and they've come back a few times this year, and last year they came back and overcame a huge lead by Maryland. But boy, I'll tell you, that's a lot of points right now.
And folks, the Gators ain't Maryland.
No,
hey, you know, Dick, up at Berwick, you know that Jake Kelchner was a tight end in junior high school? And then one day, Coach Curry saw Jake throw a ball 55 yards playing catch. He was a quarterback the next day and has been ever since. 1st and 10, Kelchner on the run, away from trouble. short of the 30-yard line.
You must be working for the Berwick Chamber of Commerce today,
Johnny Church.
No, but they have done a good job. You know, Notre Dame's freshman quarterback.
Now, speaking of Notre Dame, you know, Kelchner went there from Berwick, and Ron Paulus.
He just could not fit in at Notre Dame. You know that? Paulus is there, but they both broke collarbones, too.
That's right. Let's go to Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, Brent, you know, Kelchner was... Well, we'll tell you the story after this play.
Second down and 11. Signaling to his outside wide man. Kennedy's over there. Kelchner hands to Walker. Walker with a penalty flag. Walker hit by Lawrence Wright.
William Gaines got good penetration in there, almost got in the point of exchange between the quarterback and the running back. William Gaines showing very good quickness at the defensive right tackle spot, coming off on the ball. You can see why they nickname him Big Nasty.
Third and short. That's Ryan moving to the right side of the formation. Walker for the first down. Jack.
Well, Brent, when Jake Kelchner was asked not to return to the University of Notre Dame, an individual called Coach Don Nehlen, and he said, I know an individual that could fit into your program. He's a good kid. He's made a few mistakes, but I think if he's given a chance, he could become an outstanding quarterback and an outstanding individual. Nehlen listened, and then he called Jake Kelchner. He offered him a scholarship. You know who the individual was?
Lou Holtz.
You got it.
Jack, I didn't mean to steal your punchline. I apologize. Okay.
Don't let it happen again.
First and 10, and penalty flags come flying here.
This is they were lining up in that what they called a big shadow defense when they put 4 linemen down, and then they put a linebacker down in a 3-point stance as well. They have also, as we said in the first half, put the 5th defensive lineman in there, but it just shook the offensive line up enough that they moved.
When I left Amelia Island on Monday, I picked up the Florida Times-Union in Jacksonville, and I knew the Gators meant business. The headline, Gators to tone down partying. Bourbon Street mentioned it. All that is raucous and rowdy, they did it 2 years ago, but not this time. This is a Gator team that came in here with a purpose, and so far they are making good on that promise.
You know, and I think Spurrier did a good job of keeping them loose. The other day, they were in the goal line area running plays. The offense came out of the huddle against the defense. He jumped in Eric Rett's position, threw Eric out of the huddle, and they tossed him the ball. Of course, they didn't tackle the coach, and he ran into the end zone. And he did the big high step. I said, where'd you get that step? He said, I was just imitating Eric Rett. And really, all the guys sort of laughed, and it just sort of kept him in the proper frame of mind. It didn't allow him to get too tight.
You know, there's no reason why Spurrier shouldn't become a great bowl coach. When you think of what he can do with that extra time off, Dick, and the way he sets up an offense, Kelchner slips away, goes down the middle of the line, and it's incomplete. And that was Larry Kennedy who got a hand on the ball.
David Barnard
did a good job, though, at getting away, didn't he?
You did, and David Barnard did a good job of putting that pressure coming in from the defensive tackle position. Boy, it takes a man to block that fella. And Kennedy really is probably their most solid, consistent defensive back. When you talk to Ron Zook about him, he says he's always there. He's not spectacular. He just plays well every week. But Kelchner was under a lot of pressure that time.
Well, here's a 3rd down and 5. Kelchner fires the middle, incomplete. Ball was jarred loose, and Kennedy was in on that play along with Hanks. The Gators have been hitting like that since midway through the first quarter. The message has been delivered.
You know, you can hit like that when you're a good athlete and you can run quickly. You know, a slow guy has a hard time accelerating in that sort of space and really nailing you. But a guy that's quick, can bend his knees and strike, can hit like that.
Let's go back on the Gator season, and let's not forget Auburn. Unbeaten, but ineligible because they are on probation. And Auburn pulled one out on the Gators in Auburn, Alabama. That was a late field goal, as I recall. 38-35, perhaps I'll have to check to make sure. The punt by Sauerbrunn at the 19, and Palmer slips the first tackler, but not the second. And there'll be a little pushing and shoving down there at the 15-yard line. Now, here are the standings. And you can see at the bottom, Auburn, unbeaten, beat the Gators with a classic ending in Auburn. The only other Florida loss this year was to Florida State, and that was in Gainesville, and that's the only game that Steve Spurrier has lost in the Swamp since he became the head coach 4 years ago. This is a remarkable turnaround of a program over in Gainesville, and it is quality. A lot of youngsters on this team. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. I would dare say that a lot of the preseason polls are going to mention the Gators next year as one of those candidates for a national title. That's how much talent comes back. Eric Rett will be gone. He will be a big man they're going to have to replace as he slams out to the 22-yard line. Eric Rett will move on to the NFL, and if he makes a roster, who knows? Maybe we'll see him in a Monday nighter sometime next year. We come up here, Dick, what do you think now? Eagles, Niners?
Well, you're going to have to go with the 49ers. They're still playing for a home field advantage. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's right. And the Eagles have played well and played hard, but I think the 49ers will play the same way.
Well, I think the winner of the Giants and the Cowboys would maintain it. I'm not even sure about we'll check with George Hill on the home field.
They're going to throw here.
Second down. And it's Willie Jackson. Slips, but he's out of bounds. Out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
See, they came up with the 2 tight ends and 2 wide outs. They saw the coverage. They came in with an 8-man front. They were going to blitz Terry Dean audible to the out pattern. He came in here prior to that pass with 17 completions and 18 attempts, 203 yards, 1 touchdown. By far his sharpest ball game. Doing a nice job.
Dick, let me complete that about the home field. The winner of the Giants-Dallas game, George Hill tells me, and
okay,
we're right, they get the home field all the way. The 49ers already have it. They have a bye. The NFC Central is the team that will play the first week, the first round of the playoffs.
Got it.
So nothing can change with the Monday night. Rhett at the 40-yard line.
Really a nice job by Barry Hawkins, a defensive tackle on the offensive center. They jumped into a 30 defense. They've been playing a lot of even defense with nobody on the center. He did a real good job within it, just coming off on the ball and getting into that backfield. Here he is, number 99. He'll just take on the center and work and get penetration into the backfield. See him jump to the 3-man line defense. Does a nice job of stuffing the center, coming off on a zone block. And that was Gannett Crouch, number 50. He expected more help from his left guard when he released him and didn't get it.
Let's go down to Jack. Jack?
Brent, you talked about the last time the Florida Gators were here in New Orleans and they stayed off of Bourbon Street in 1993. This time here, well, let me tell you something else that Coach Steve Spurrier did. He dissected the way they approached that Sugar Bowl. And he said, one of the mistakes we made is not getting here in the Superdome early enough to practice. In fact, they only had an hour walkthrough the day before the game when they played here the last time. So this time, every single day, with exception of one where they practiced in Tulane, they practiced on the artificial turf. And here's one reason why. They played no games on artificial turf until they played in the SEC Championship this year at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama.
Steve Perkins goes off the field under his own power, knowing help, no help. Probably a slight sprained ankle. That's what they were working on. He's been a factor in there, too, regardless of the score. He's made some plays.
Eric Rett comes in motion on 2nd and 10. And Terry Dean rolling right, slips it to Willie. And he's out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. Aaron Beasley there with coverage, and Beasley's had his hands full, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, you know, they keep doing a good job of trying to mix the coverage, but it really doesn't matter because these kids are really totally aware of what they're supposed to do with the ball, regardless of the coverage.
Well, with his formation and so many talented wide receivers, he's eventually going to get somebody one-on-one.
And he knows,
and he says, I can beat you with this.
Right. And plus, the important thing is he knows where to go right now. It doesn't take him long to decide to get there. Good definition of purpose.
Beasley's over here on Willie. So now Rhett puts pressure on the other side. Dean comes, throws to the slot man, and Hill can't get a hand on it, but he had him one-on-one that time, and that was Collins who drew the coverage on Hill.
Terry Dean got decked there by Keith Morris back there. See, now they ran the back in motion again away, pulling the coverage that way, forcing a one-on-one situation over toward the slot. It was there, they just threw it incomplete.
Well, you watch Florida, and we saw Alabama a bit on television, and you are really puzzled about the performance by Tennessee against Penn State today.
Well, the last time we saw Penn State play, they played awfully well. Remember, against Illinois, they ran the ball just tremendous. And evidently today, they just put it all together, because you and I both know that Tennessee, when we saw them, was an excellent football team.
Edge wants it. Vanderpool bluffs the fair catch. Ball will come out of the 20. No, really, Coach, I didn't want to put it back in the end zone. I thought I could drop it inside the 10.
I'm used to punting against the wind. Turn up the air conditioners.
Well, there are some stunned folks over there on the West Virginia side.
They are stunned. They just took all the sap out of them. They came out here with such intensity and enthusiasm and playing hard. The defensive line coming off, offensive line coming off, but they really lost it right now.
And I will never forget that moment. And we'll get an opportunity in the fourth quarter to show it to you again, of Monty Grove, number 10, when he unloaded. I don't think this football game has ever been the same since that two-play sequence. Kelchner with time looks back and he overthrows his receiver. That was Jones who had slipped out of the backfield.
He's saying to himself, how could I throw that incomplete? Look at it.
Dick, will he get a look in the NFL?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. There were scouts here during the week watching him, and I talked to Billy Kuharich, the personnel director at New Orleans Saints, and he says definitely he's an NFL prospect. I believe he is, especially when we saw him here in the first quarter. He was really sharp and looked good, and he looked very good on the practice field. When we saw him before, he was banged up, and it was tough to evaluate.
And this is Walker, and he won't go. He will not get the corner. That was Monty Grove, number 10.
He's the tempo setter.
You know what's interesting about Monty Grove? The Gators weren't even sure that they were going to have him this year. He had to apply for that redshirt year, and he was granted a 5th season. Came back, and he filled a big spot for them this year.
From the right side of your screen, number 10 staying in contained position, pop. See what he does? He does a nice job of bending his knees, getting his pads down, and lifting and hitting up through the target.
On 3rd and 12, Kelchner slips it out to his fullback, who is down at the 19 and short of the first down. West Virginia must punt again, as Grove and Kennedy were there defensively. Jack Arute.
Brent, you might be wondering why Mike Baker, the wide receiver for the Mountaineers, is not out during this series. Well, he's over here on the sidelines, and the report is that he is suffering from severe stomach cramps. He's been out, and he's got the blanket covering him up. The medicos are attending to him, but it's going to be a long night for Baker now. Who knows if he'll get back in?
Yeah, I'm not sure, Jack, he was the same after that punt return back in the first half when he was shaken up over on that far side. As Sauerbrunn sends one to Palmer on the run at the 42-yard line. And Palmer slips the first tackle, but not the second, and he is down at the 37-yard line. Well, now it is up to junior Terry Dean, who says he'll be back next year. The young man out of Collier High School in Naples, Florida. Another outstanding student down in that class at Naples. He was second in his graduating class. And at Florida, he's got about a 3.75 grade point average. His father, Frank, who is here tonight, played football at Jacksonville, Alabama State. And, of course, last year he backed up Shane Matthews, shared the duties this year with Danny Werfel. Werfel is injured. Dean was the starter and the finisher against Alabama. He's done a job here, as Eric Redd, who has scored 3 touchdowns for the Gators, runs to the 45-yard line, and John Browning, one of the second-teamers of the Mountaineers, get a little playing time.
That's that same counter toss where they toss it and comes back off tackle, going the opposite way, breezes the linebackers, fullback gets in good position, offensive line coming up there, 7-8 yard gain.
You know, one of the players we haven't talked about for the Gators that they're going to dearly miss next year is their guard, Jimmy Watson. He's the 290-pound senior, number 73. He's been a bit of an anchor for this young team this year. They have a lot of talent coming back on that offensive line, but they're going to be missing him. Now they come up with a slot to the right, and Rhett to the 49, and we get an opportunity to check in on what's going on this busy New Year's Day. John Saunders, take it away.
Well, Brent, as you know, it is Bowl Day 94, brought to you by Wavy Lays, and we thought we'd get a chance to see how the Big East and the SEC is done with the Big East team facing the SEC in this one tonight. Virginia Tech a winner over Indiana. Virginia a loser to Boston College. Boston College out of the Big East, and Miami out of the Big East loses to Arizona. In the SEC, Kentucky loses to Clemson. Tennessee beaten up big by Penn State, and Alabama all over North Carolina. Right now, let's take it back to you, Brent.
All right, John, thank you. In 1st and 10, and a timeout called here by Terry Dean. And while we've got an opportunity, why don't we take a break and check in on some other shows that are coming your way here on ABC.
Sunday kicks off a new year of video surprises with an all-new America's Funniest Home Videos. Then Sasha Mitchell from Step by Step guest stars.
Comedy Unplugged.
It's the all-new America's Funniest People Sunday. You'll have a ball.
Sunday, Superman and Clark have lost their minds.
Clark has amnesia.
What will it take to bring them back?
Does this refresh your memory? 1, 2.
An all-new Lois and Clark, Sunday.
Steve Spurrier and the Florida Gators closing in on a victory here at the USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. Lead it big, 35-7. They gave up the first 7 points of the game and then came back and scored 35 unanswered points against Donnie Nealon's Mountaineers.
You know, and I think the offense, if it continues like it is here for Florida, will get a lot of credit. But I really think the unit that deserves a lot of credit is that defensive football team. They have really improved through the season. They start out getting a lot of criticism, and Coach Zook and a lot of the players did. But I'll tell you, they have played awfully well and tackled very sharp.
I know that one of the glamour guys and the number guys will get the MVP, but I'd vote for number 10.
Me too.
I don't think the game's been the same. 1st and 10. And Rhett, stepping lively, picks a hole beautifully, doesn't he?
It's so tough to do that, to start one way, catch the ball, come back, and then make people miss because the defense has gained penetration. He'll catch the ball, start to his right, he'll come back to the left, penetration, he'll widen his base, cut right upfield, find the daylight. This young man can play. You can't coach those kind of things.
His name is right up there with the Herschel Walkers and the Bo Jacksons when it comes to career numbers in the SEC. I mean, he's just had a wonderful career at Florida. We don't know if he'll have a pro career quite like Emmitt Smith, but then how many guys will have, you know what I mean? Now it's Dean back, has one-on-one, goes deep against Beasley, and incomplete. It was Houston.
But he beat Emmitt Smith's record at Florida.
Yes, he did. Rhett rushing for better than 4,160 yards. Emmitt, of course, he had 3 years, remember, then he went into the pros, 3,928. So he did have one extra year, if we want to put one little asterisk on that. But Eric Rhett is 3rd in the history of the SEC behind Herschel and Bo. How's that? And he's
pretty good company.
And he can catch, too. He's an excellent receiver.
Right now, there's nothing he can't do maybe for the NFL team, but maybe make the 80-yard run, the 60-yard burst once he clears that secondary.
And when you're named Rhett and you're playing in the South, folks, you know you're good. There's a completion of Frazier. 1st down for the Florida Gators and out of bounds. When you think about it, hey, Eric Rhett, huh?
That's it. But, you know, here's Darrell Frazier, number 25, but just caught that football. He's a senior out of Winter Haven, Florida. He's hit 9 balls coming in, averaging 25 yards a catch. They throw it to him. He reaches out there. He looks like he's caught 60 balls on the air. They can all catch the football.
First and 10. Florida on the move again. It's been all Gators since about midway through the second quarter. Here's Rhett. to the 28-yard line.
You know, Eric Brett last year in the Gator Bowl ran for 182 yards, and that was his second best since Larry Smith, a former great Gator, ran for 87 against Georgia Tech in the bowl game. I don't know how many he's got right now, but it's obvious they're going to give him the football and let him run. He's up to 100 yards right now, and that coach we see right there is 23-1 when a running back runs for 100 yards. There it is, 21-1. Missed it by 2. I was giving you a little more credit there, Coach Spurrier. You're ahead. Don't get upset. Don't think he takes this game serious, huh?
I've been around you long enough to know how coaches take these games.
You know, there's another game he takes serious, and that's golf. And that might be one reason he'll never coach in the NFL. He wants to keep playing.
I'll tell you why he's upset right here. This is the second half of the game, and even though he's up 35-7, he does not like to be completely out of timeouts before the fourth quarter even starts. That was the third timeout called by Dean, and Steve, I think, would have just as soon settled for a 5-yard penalty in that situation and at least kept one in his hip pocket just in case there's a miracle comeback.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Jack Arute, what about Steve's golf game?
Well, it's a great little story that Don Nealon told us. You know, he said playing the 8th bowl game of New Year's Day so late in the day really upsets the way you get ready for a game. And he said, you know, what I would have liked to have done is I'd like to have teed this thing up at about 1 o'clock. And then I would like to have gone home and have all this crowd come in and look at the Diamond Vision screens and have it say, hey, we decided to start without you. Sorry we did. Watch the replay. We left early. 1, so Steve Spurrier can get an early tee time tomorrow in Florida, and so I can go back to the mountains.
2nd and 6, and yeah, he would have liked to have seen that a lot of people didn't see this one. Now Dean steps off to the right, fires. Looks like it was just short of the first down, didn't it, at the 25-yard line. He hit Harrison Houston, the senior wide receiver. There's one of the young men they'll be replacing in Gainesville next year.
He's a school record in all-purpose yardage. Every one of the receivers holds some kind of a record. Every time he touched the ball, it was 19.3 yards. So obviously, as an offensive coach such as Spurrier, you try to find ways to put the ball in his hands.
Well, Steve, you know, played here, too, in a Sugar Bowl game. He was on a great comeback that came up a couple of points short against Missouri. He was the first losing player to be the MVP. Now he comes back. He's lost once as a coach. And with that first down, moving, and Dick, it appears like he's going to come away and be 1-1 as a coach. He's 15 minutes away, and time is running out on unbeaten West Virginia.
Over 1.5 million vacationers toured the canals of Venice last year. Not one of them, however, was a Lexus engineer. Why? Let's just say they were busy. The 1994 Lexus ES, improved, revised, refined. In a word, new.
Every day in 34 countries and over 300 cities, Delta Airlines takes off to the world of facts and figures, budgets, and bottom lines. And when the job is done, we bring you back to the world of mommies and daddies, boyfriends, girlfriends, and best friends. Delta Airlines.
I don't like soldier boys.
I think war's just been declared.
Clint Eastwood's taking no prisoners. Oh, in Heartbreak Ridge, Sunday.
Everyone knows the best car deals of the year are during the last week of December. In fact, people look forward to year-end clearance time. So why all the shouting? Well, your Ford dealers don't have to shout.
And now get the year's lowest financing rate, 2.9% on a new Ford F-150. America's best-selling full-size pickup for 16 straight years.
Now that's something to shout about. But hurry, this clearance sale ends soon. Your Ford dealers are winning Ohio over.
The best truck news of the year just got even better. Not only can you get the best lease ever on any new 1994 Ford F-Series, now you can get the lowest financing rate of the year, 2.9% on any 1993 or 1994 model Ford F-Series truck. So whether you buy or lease, you won't find a better offer than this. Your Ford dealer has a good selection of America's best-selling pickups. But don't wait. This offer ends January 3rd. So hurry to get the best of terms on America's best at your Ford dealer today.
What you need to know to get a divorce, and Linda Hirsch, Monday.
Oh, yeah, the winners say, let's boogie. And on the other side, Deal. Can't wait to get another hand when you're trailing like this. 35-7. First and 10, and Dean straight back for the drop. Jack Jackson short and intercepted. Picked off by Beasley. Beasley at the 20. And out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Beasley with a little bit of revenge against Dean, who's been coming his way all night.
Well, Dunlap, defensive coordinator, said he was his best coverage guy. He demonstrated there, coming up with his 4th pass interception in his career out of Valley Forge Military Academy in Pennsylvania. They tried to get the isolation on the corner pattern. He played it perfectly. Should not have thrown that ball like that. Then he goes ahead. Now he's going to be a running back. Picks up some blockers. Again, defensive teams are coached to form walls and become offensive players once they intercept the ball, and they did a pretty good job of it.
The Gators start the final 15 with an interception. West Virginia will try to make them pay here. Kelchner on the roll to the right. Walker blocks beautifully, and he almost gave it right back. Hanks almost picked that off at the 40-yard line.
Remember, at halftime, we had pretty even numbers. There weren't that much, really not many yards separating, because as you can see right now, total yards, 370 to 225. The 2 turnovers for West Virginia really killed them, especially the one on the kickoff return. Rushing yards, University of Florida up to 122 right now. Look at the passing yards, 248. Dean's got a ways to go, though, if he's going to get up to his best game of over 400.
Now Walker is out and Rodney Woodard in. Kelchner. And a diving reception at the 38-yard line. Nice catch by Rasan Venterpool.
Rasan is a gifted young freshman football player out of New York. They think he has real potential to be a breakaway threat type guy in the returns and a long gainer type guy with the receivers. Catch the short one and run and make it a long one.
Walker slips back in with the play, and West Virginia taking a little bit too much time to get these plays in right now. When you're down 35-7, come up to the line, only 9 seconds left on that clock. And here is Walker around the right side, moves that pile out to the 44-yard line. It's a first down for the Mountaineers, and the clock will stop right now.
Walker has had a great year, set a school record single season with 1,191 yards. Actually was slated to be a defensive football player. They were going to move him to the secondary last year. At the end of the season, a back got hurt. He ran for 100 yards in the last game of the season. Came in this year. John Jones was going to be the starter. He got hurt. They put him in, and he's never going to play defense.
For sure. Now Kelchner and the Mountaineers in need of a big play. 2 almost. And he telegraphed that one all the way. Ben Hanks was coming. If he'd have had another yard, it might have been a quick 6 for the Gators. I want to tell you.
You know, I've mentioned this to you before about Rich Braham, the big offensive left tackle from West Virginia, has a great initial pop. That time he set back in pass protection, and he popped the defender. Here he is right here on your screen. He sets back, and he'll pop Gaines, number 94. Watch him bounce back. He has a real good pop, and that's very important if you're going to be a good pass protector.
Now, nice play. Hand to Woodard. Woodard, first down. Woodard blast to the 42-yard line. Dick, when you went back and looked at the game tape of Miami, you were very impressed with the Mountaineer fullback.
Well, he was the guy that kept controlling the ball, making the tough 4- and 5-yard gains in the 3rd and 3 and the 3rd and 4 situations, and then he would run over people. And actually, on that same type of play, a number of times against Miami and their even defense, he broke up inside. University of Virginia offense, 244 yards rushing the game, 9th in the country. West Virginia,
Mountaineers searching for that stripe. Kelchner gets a lot of time, can't find an open receiver, and dumps it out of bounds and incomplete.
Absolutely no place to go. See, there was only 3 people out there. They had 7 people covering, rushing 4 people, no one to throw to. That's Jim LeBlanc walking out of there. He had a shoulder separation problem last year, had 10 starts this year, so he's been able to play the whole season. There's big Jim LeBlanc.
2nd and 10 for Kelchner and the Mounties. Blitz. Off the blitz. Here comes Groh. Kelchner releases, complete. Vanderpool, the freshman, on the receiving end, and Groh was coming again.
Normally in that kind of blitz, man-to-man all the way, you would like to go to the post pattern for the big one. He didn't have time to set up properly and go for the big one, so he takes the flat pattern. Mr. Groh coming off the corner. He's what they call the gator back. The other fella, Ben Hanks, is called the bandit back. Both of them are tough backs. Average yards by down.
One of the messages up here on the board in the Superdome says, "Go Jacksonville Jaguars." Here's the handoff now. And Walker stood up far short of that first down. Ben Hanks.
Excellent tackle. When you can knock a running back like Walker back by yourself initially with good tackling technique, you're a good tackler.
There it is, the sign I spoke about in 2 years. The Gator Bowl. They'll start renovation on Monday. They'll have a brand new field. It means the Georgia-Florida game will go to Gainesville this year. It was already slated for Athens in '95. Then they'll go back to the brand new Gator Bowl. Who knows, maybe it'll be called Jaguar Stadium when they get done over there. 4th down. What a great story that is for that city. Down the middle and incomplete, overthrown, and Wright almost had his 2nd pick of the game. He had a wonderful 52-yard return for an interception in the first half.
So they went to a double zone. They rushed 4. They went 5 underneath and had 2 deep. He tried to get the ball in between the 2 safeties, couldn't do it. Slot man, top of your screen, play action, trying to freeze people underneath. They want to slip it down in that seam. That's the place to go if you can get it there, but they couldn't get it there. What he got was lunch when Ellis Johnson, number 61, let him have it. Coach Zook, Monty Groh, ought to give that guy a real big hug, Coach.
So Dwayne Mobley checks in as running back for the Gators. His father, a few years ago, hit a nice Florida lottery down there for a few $1 million. Probably came to the game tonight in a chauffeured limo. That's what you do, you know, when you hit that lotto down there.
That's what you're supposed to do. Over the last 4 years, 44 players named to the SEC Academic Honor Roll within this program. Not only good football players, but very good students, or a number of very good students. Doing a good job of recruiting the right people, then doing a real good job of coaching him once he gets there. You know, this guy, to me, in college coaching, has a little of Bill Walsh in him. No matter who plays quarterback for him, they do a good job, you know, and I've said that earlier in the broadcast, and he has a flair for doing the right things in the passing game, and they change every week.
Yeah, you said right away it was the most sophisticated passing game that you've looked at in college football. This is Terrence Foy. He's the freshman, and Eric Rett, after a 100-yard, 3-touchdown night, we'll get some time off, and we'll get a chance to look at Foy, and we check in with Jack Arute. Jack?
Well, I'm really happy, Brent, because I've met up with the entire Dean family, Terry's mom and dad, but more importantly, Robin Rabb, who, believe it or not, I understand, Robin, that Terry Dean one time at Florida Field early in the season was sacked at the 50-yard line by none other than you. Tell me the story.
Well, Terry and I had been talking a little bit about getting married and stuff, but then he started tricking me and saying he didn't know if it was going to happen. So one night we went out to dinner, and then he decided to drive out to Florida Field, and I thought, well, what's he going to do? Whip out, you know, and show me his bench press or something. So anyway, we were walking out on the field, and it was a pretty night, and the stars were out, and he just dropped on his knee and asked me to marry him.
That might be the only time that Terry Dean ever gets sacked for a long-term gain.
Got that right.
That was the most unique sideline report we've had this year.
Oh, my. Second down. And here's fourth. Now, how about Terry Dean's parents? Let's make sure that they're sending him back to Gainesville next year, Jack.
Brent, that's exactly what I was going to ask his dad, Frank Dean. Frank, there were a lot of reports before this game that maybe there was the possibility that Terry would forego his senior year.
No, he never really thought about that very much. He'll be back next year.
How tough is it on a parent when you've got a quarterback situation the way it was between Wuerffel and Terry, back and forth? What kind of advice did you give your son?
The normal things. Hang on. Things will get better. Keep trying. And don't ever, ever give up.
I've got to ask you, having a star quarterback as a son, do you get a lot of ribbing at the hair salon?
I tell you what, I can still spank him when I need to.
When you've got a situation, though, and you get to watch your son play ball, do you ever think about the NFL? Do you ever think about maybe him making it and playing on Sundays?
Of course, when you have a boy in ball on the national level with colleges, it's a natural thought, but a lot of things have to happen. If it's God's will, he'll be there.
Well, Happy New Year to all of you.
Happy New Year to you. Thank you.
Well, Dean and the Gators with a comfortable 35-7 lead here and a first down across midfield against the Mountaineers, and that time he slipped trying to get it into Mobley's hands, putting the ball down on the carpet.
I think the offensive center stepped on his foot. When he went to reverse pivot, it was stepped on, and he couldn't reverse pivot and hand it off. That's embarrassing. And it does happen. Every once in a while you see that happen.
But the Gators have not been embarrassed very often here tonight.
No, they haven't. They've done most things correct. You know, little Terrence Foy, that freshman running back, he's a true freshman out of Orlando, Winter Park High School. He averaged 11.6 yards a carry. I don't know if they're going to miss Big Eric that much. 11.6 yards an average carry last year in high school.
Well, the SEC will test him. Here he is running the toss play. He slipped through. Looked good on that run. Made his way to the 45-yard line.
And Wes Richardson, number 41, is normally a good tackler, so this young man has some strength as well. He just kept those legs going. He's short and squatty and 180 pounds, but he has power as well. He's shaking his head. You know, that guy wanted a piece of my head there. Here he is, Winter Park High School.
How about that dental work?
Yeah.
It's all right, huh? Yeah, that's where you carry your goals, you know, a lot of times. They sent him in motion, and they fired at Jack Jackson. Jack will be back next year. He'll be an All-American candidate. Yeah, folks, get ready. I wouldn't be surprised if the Gators are not there in the top 3 in the preseason next year. This team is coming back loaded. This is an impressive bowl victory here tonight in New Orleans. He did a great job this year. A lot of folks didn't think he'd get past Tennessee in that division. They did. They beat Alabama in Birmingham. Granted, Alabama had a little quarterback problem, but the Gators deserved to win that game. There was no question about it. Shane Edge's big play, and then Dean hit the long pass right away to Jackson. Here's Foy. And Foy to the 27-yard line. And, of course, there will be another host of good young recruits down there in the state of Florida. It's unbelievable to me how much football talent there is now in the state of Florida. When you just think about it, I used to think that California and Texas and Ohio and Pennsylvania, but I don't think any of them, Dick, in their heyday turned out as many great skill players as the state of Florida does.
A lot of speed down there, Brent. You know, and here we're watching University of Florida tear West Virginia apart, and they fight for respect down there with Florida State down there and the University of Miami, and they're rated a 3rd rank, you know, and they're fighting for respect.
That's Mobley, short of the first down. Speaking of Tuesday night on ABC, your comedy favorites ring in the new year with new episodes. Roseanne and Coach, Tuesday, starting at 9, 8 Central Time on ABC. Let's see, Roseanne's hubby, big Iowa Hawkeye fan, had to be disappointed in their bowl performance against California the other night, down the Alamo Bowl. Now the Hawkeyes will be back under Hayden Fry. Big Ten enjoyed a good season, capped it off today with an upset of Tennessee in the Citrus Bowl and a big win by Wisconsin. Can't say enough about Barry Alvarez and the Badgers and what they accomplished with that program. Ohio State earlier had beaten BYU, but not by much. Incomplete. Brigham Young was threatening going in. You know, you talked about all that talent in Florida in the three schools, Dick. Really a down year for Miami, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, offensively especially. We saw them, and they just did not look like a normal Miami football team the day West Virginia beat them. Now, you don't want to take credit away from West Virginia's fine defensive effort, but they just were out of sync the whole ball game. And obviously, they get up against University of Arizona and Dick Tomey's team today. Couldn't get her done.
So Judd Davis on to attempt a 43-yard field goal, and the Lou Groza Award winner. He's had 5 extra points, and he adds a nice field goal. So it's been a great night in New Orleans for the Gators of Florida.
Three decades in the making. And worth its weight in gold. The all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was, and more. It's Motor Trend Car of the Year.
Annual camping trip. I'm on the phone calling all the guys.
When he gets to me, he says,
"Sorry, pal. You're bunking with Rick."
"No way."
Rick? The human jackhammer? So yes.
Why do we take Rick on these trips?
Say, hey, he's your friend.
I say, he's your cousin.
True friends deserve AT&T True Rewards. Introducing the only program that gives you points for frequent flyer miles and free AT&T minutes.
Your true voice.
It's the Monday night grand finale.
Steve Young and the playoff-bound 49ers host the Philadelphia Eagles.
It's the final stop on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Welcome back once again to Bowl Day 94, presented by Wavy Lay's Potato Chips. A couple of games earlier today here on ABC. Penn State wins 31-13. Joe Paterno tying Bear Bryant for the most bowl coaching victories all time at 15. And Wisconsin gets their first ever victory in the Rose Bowl, knocking off UCLA. Brent Moss over 100 yards for the 11th straight game. Back to another Brent.
John, hey, he's had a day in the studio. He's been in there all day.
Yeah, he's got to work for a living, doesn't he?
You get those Wavy Lays, they give you all you can eat in the course of a day, you suppose?
Hope they give him a cold one, too.
Yes, Savannah Poole from the 4. 25 and to the 30-yard line, and it's first down. Well, I know that the fans of the Mountaineers and the youngsters over there on that sideline are down right now. This has been a discouraging performance, not a good one. No alibis for them, but it's been a good year, and their fans will be back. They gave them a lot of great memories this year for the Mountaineer fans. We've got 7 minutes left in this ball game, and it's still a terrific program. Darren Studstill comes back in, and he'll take a series here in the second half and see if he can finish something off.
He's done it before, but he's got a long ways to go here.
And it's 2nd and 10 as he fires it out of bounds. You know, Dick, West Virginia seemed to have an edge going there in the early going, you and I were talking about. And when they lost it, they couldn't regain it, and they don't have as much skill at those skill positions as the Gators do.
No, they don't. They don't have the overall team speed defense against offense, and they were right in the thick of it there, playing with great intensity and everything. And when they started to lose it, then the emotion couldn't help keep the game close. I don't think that Florida is this much better than West Virginia. But as the game went and they lost that intensity and that great desire, then it really separated.
Save his life.
You know, and the bigger the game, many times, once a game starts to separate, the more it separates, like a lot of our Super Bowls.
Johnny Church was about to separate Studstill from his head that time on the chase.
He's another one playing on his birthday today. He was born January 1st, 1974. Johnny Church.
So
happy birthday, John.
Coach Donnie Nealon, huh?
Yeah, both of them. Of course, Coach Nealon was born before 1974.
Studstill goes deep. Kearney almost made a fingertip grab at the 35-yard line.
Nice effort.
That was a well-thrown pass, Coach.
It was right. It was thrown nice tight spiral. He just could not get to it, obviously. When you throw that kind of ball, you'd like to throw that with a little higher trajectory and let it run underneath it. That kind of ball thrown that flat, the receiver, I mean, it just has to be perfect. He can't get to it. John Zook there still doing his coaching.
Sauerbrunn with a long at 55. And a fair catch at the 27-yard line. 6.5 minutes away from a USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl victory.
Your business is like his business.
It's like this business.
It's like that business.
It's like show business. It's like shoe business.
It's like business one is like business two.
It's like his business. It's like her business. It's like business 899. It's like business 989.
Just like his business.
So your business is what business?
At USF&G, we make it our business to know yours. Because only when we understand your business are you truly covered. USF&G, the difference is understanding.
When it comes to tough hand tools, we're making a name for ourselves because they're made with a full lifetime warranty. That's Ace, the name to know for hand tools.
When the doctor told me to come in right away, I was scared. But this burning pain was real. Was I relieved when my doctor said Mylanta?
For heartburn, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
I went out to buy a car and came home with a truck. Everybody saw my new Ford Ranger and said, are we in luck? Now I've been driving non-stop because my girl likes to shop and my mom wants a fridge from way over the bridge. And my boss just bought a condo. Better start hauling pronto. My best friend says it's cool. Let's go cruising like we did in school. Don't get me wrong, Ford Ranger's the truck I'm gonna keep. I just wish I could get some sleep.
Monday, he's a rebel with a reckless past, poised to take over his father's evangelical empire. Meet Franklin Graham, Billy's son, on Day One, Monday.
Well, here are the key plays as far as the Gators of Florida are concerned. Monty Groh unloading on Darren Studstill. And the game was never the same. After a timeout, Groh on the blitz got a hand on him and forced this turnover. And folks, watch Lawrence Wright do the rest. The game was tied at 7 at the time, and nothing was the same after this 52-yard dash for a touchdown. And the lead now is 38-7 as Eric Presser checks in at quarterback. Eric Presser had a brother who played on the national championship team at Miami back in 1989. So he comes in here and he'll take over with 6:25 to go, and Steve Spurrier will get an opportunity to look at this freshman quarterback from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
They have another redshirt quarterback down there, Brian Schottenheimer, Marty Schottenheimer's son, Brent. They've got a lot of quarterbacks. In fact, early in the year, Coach Spurrier was using Brian as the signal caller in terms of signaling the plays in once he made the verbal call. Look at this.
Oh, here we go. Little razzle-dazzle. Where is it? That's the hidden ball trick. And Bilkey came away with it.
That's the hidden ball play. They've been working it all year, and on the practice field the other day they ran it. Now watch this as you see the snap. We're going to take it back. They've worked on this all year and have never run it. They have never run it, and the players have been chewing on the coach. Let's run that thing. And then Bilkey turns around and runs it. It worked, Coach. Yeah, it worked for 10-yard or 9-yard gain.
And the toss to Foy on the first down. Look at this work. Wow, speaking of work, Cackaroo, what do you got, partner?
Well, Brad, I've run with the Buffalo. I've ridden the Sooner Schooner. Check this one out. Let me tell you something. This thing weighs about 45 pounds once you put it on.
That's what you had on a Bourbon Street the other night.
Well, you didn't have to tell anybody, Dick. But I'll tell you, we talk a lot about it. We see a lot of mascots. And I'll tell you, it's hot in here, and they deserve a lot of accolades throughout the season because this is a thankless job. I'm out of here.
I hope so.
That's wonderful. 1st and 10. Here's the toss to Foy. Foy slashes to the 45-yard line, and there's Sol Snaggletooth himself. Hey, look at this, huh? A couple of...
He has found his calling.
Has he ever, huh?
Yeah. Hey, the lovable Gator, we'll call it.
Oh, he's over there looking for one squeeze after another. I'll tell you. Second down now. I'll tell you, folks, it's been something. Now Kresser. Nice throw. Out of bounds at the 25. Nice, patient throw. And he was able to pick up Hill, working the sideline. And just like Dick Vermeil said, doesn't matter who plays quarterback for the Gators, they're going to move the ball. There's 20 yards.
I went back and studied him this week in preparation for this. His quarterbacks throw a touchdown pass every 15 attempts. Every 9th completion's in the end zone for a touchdown. And they throw an interception every 25 times. That's the only thing that is not really super, that interception ratio.
Here's Foy.
Boy, he's going to be a good football player.
Now, at one point I want to make, because as I get older, I've changed my opinion about all these things. But, you know, I imagine some of the folks up in West Virginia think that, you know, we shouldn't be laughing, shouldn't be serious, and Florida shouldn't be doing all this trick stuff and running up the deal. Let me tell you, folks, when you put guys like Kresser and Foy out there, and they're trying to win jobs next year, they're trying to get the ball into the end zone. They figure the game's long over. We're not going to get upset about it. And West Virginia should fight back and do something about it.
No question. Let him play. West Virginia has a lot of young kids in there playing right now, too, trying to play hard and earn respect for spring ball.
Absolutely. Oh, it's second down now. Final 3:40. And, folks, you haven't got a timeout on that side if they called one. Wait a minute. Isn't this the same place? Didn't Chris Webber do this here? This is a delay of game. They don't have any timeouts, huh? That's about the same spot where I saw Chris Webber come down and pound it across the line and say timeout. I expect to see a Tar Heel go up here and shoot a free throw. I'm telling you, you can't do that. What is it about the Superdome and these illegal timeouts? 3:40. Oh, the give back, and Kresser is going to keep it on the run.
This is a run all the way, design run. It's not a flea flicker pass. It's a quarterback sweep. Let's go all the way back to the hidden ball play. I don't know how many of you ladies, people have ever seen this. I have never seen it. Is that clever? Look at that. Now they all separate.
That isn't a, you know, Dick, I only got your attention because I seen a variation of it. I saw
really?
Bobby Bowden off a punt run that against Clemson, a huge play.
Really?
Yeah. Now it's 3rd and 3. Final 3:30 to go.
You know, when you have a big lead, you feel free to call about anything.
Oh, sure. Kresser's going to, oh, he can throw the ball well.
Yes, he can. I asked the coaches the other day about him and throwing because I noticed that on the practice field. They said, no question, he throws the ball well. Bobby Bowden's ahead by 2 right now, Coach. Like he says he throws the ball well, but he has a lot to learn about the offense.
That was Chris Doreen. He hasn't been too active tonight. He looks a little bit like Chris Collinsworth. That was his big hero down there in Gainesville. Guys, it was a great year anyway. You got shellacked there tonight, but let's take a look at that AP top 10 here after this play. Our producer, Kim Belton, will get it for us, and we'll take a look at what the writers, that's Foy, might come up with. West Virginia, of course, is going to slip a little bit. Florida State trying to hang on. Nebraska with a very, very gutty performance down in the Orange Bowl tonight. Notre Dame, well, they've got an argument if Florida State wins, but barely. Notre Dame has a terrific argument, folks. Auburn, of course, is unbeaten but didn't play because they're on probation. Tennessee
will drop.
Yeah, Texas
A&M will drop.
They'll drop. Florida was going to climb up, finish in the top 5 or at least close to it. I'll tell you, If Florida State just nicks at the wire Nebraska, how can you deny Notre Dame a shot at a national title when they beat them? Am I missing something?
No, you're not missing a thing.
I just think it's a wonderful argument, and it's one that the writers and the media, and of course, one way to settle it would be to have you-know-what, but we won't get into that. Ball is at the 15-yard line, and Donnie Nealon, great year.
Great year, great coach. He took that program over. They had 4 consecutive losing years when he took it over. They went 6-6 his first year. From then on, they had 9 winning seasons, 2 losing seasons, been to 8 bowl games. Outstanding.
Run a little draw play here on 2nd down.
You know, when you visit that campus and move around there in the athletic department, the weight room, the locker room, and everything at West Virginia, too, you really recognize that the players love it being there. They have a great rapport with their coaching staffs. They work very hard. And I'm looking forward to having the opportunity to go down and see how the Gators do it this next year. We didn't get there this year.
Oh, heck, we'll get a condominium in Gainesville.
Well,
this team's going to go for the national
you don't have one already? You have one every place else.
Third and 6.
I never know where to call you.
Can't hit a moving target, kid. Here comes Foy, and Foy is wrestled out of bounds there around the 10-yard line. So next Sunday, it's the premiere of ABC's 1994 golf coverage. Greg Norman, Freddie Couples, Jack Nicklaus, the stars of the PGA and the Senior Tours, tee it off in the final round of the Mercedes Championships. Live coverage begins at 3 Eastern, 2 Central Pacific next Sunday, right here on ABC. So the PGA Tour gets underway again. That's always a great event out there outside of San Diego. And Dick, you and I next week will head for an NFL playoff game on Saturday, partner. If it winds up being Green Bay, bring along your longies.
Bring along the longies. You bet.
Davis with a 26-yarder makes his 2nd field goal of the night. And it's 41-7, 1:55 to go. The Gators have scored 41 unanswered points.
You don't think a car can change your attitude? Watch. Take this guy, give him a probe, lose the sweater, change the hair, voila. Or her. Give her an Escort GT, lose the glasses, make over city, and bingo! Whoa, this guy needs a Ranger bad. Let's do that grunge thing, and off you go. A lot of work here. Definitely Mustang. Lose the pocket protector, heck, lose the whole outfit, and throw that man a wave. Ford. Serious attitude adjustment.
Want a taste you can't resist? There's no bag chip you can pop like this. Chips and bags got busted pieces. Brings you down with all their greases. The Pringles can't stop. Pop, the Pringles can't stop. You got the stack, you got the bunch. For a whole lot of taste of the Pringles crunch. You got the duck-billed lizard too. Only Pringles rings taste like this to you. The Pringles can't stop. Pop, the Pringles can't stop. Still can those bags of fresh whole chips. Nothing like Pringles crush your lips. Yeah, once you pop, you can't stop.
Gulf of Mexico, where world-class fishermen like Jim come to battle the big boys.
Jim, you got one.
Yeah, hey, this calls for a celebration. How about a cold O'Doul's?
Thanks.
Only 70 calories and non-alcohol, because out here, you never know what's biting.
When you want the refreshing taste of beer without all the alcohol, think O'Doul's. It's what beer drinkers drink when they're not drinking beer.
Well, I'll tell you how good it could get for Florida coming in here to New Orleans. There's a high school quarterback in this town by the name of Peyton Manning. Yes, it's Archie Manning's son. And he was in here watching the Gators work out for a couple of days inside the Superdome. Now, it's illegal for Florida coach Steve Spurrier to talk to him, so he didn't. But I want to tell you that young Manning was very impressed as he watched the Gators practice. And, of course, here tonight, in watching with his father honored here, that would be something if Peyton Manning would wind up in Gainesville.
If it's anything like the dad, oh, was he a player. Just never had the opportunity to have the great supporting cast, but what a football player.
Vanterpool. Good special team coverage tonight by Florida.
Yeah, Mobley. Brent, they improved in all phases of their special teams this year, and they hadn't been real good in the past, but this year in every category they improved, especially in their field goal kicker, Judd Davis.
The USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl is going to the Florida Gators. We'll be right back.
Owens Corning presents an exciting debut, Pink Plus, a new insulation that's silky to the touch. The reason? Pink Plus is our famous pink fiberglass insulation wrapped in smooth pink poly, which also makes it extra easy to install. So get in touch with a premier insulation. For the Pink Plus dealer nearest you, call 1-800-GET-PINK.
Your insurance, therefore, insures the purchase of any additional liability coverages in excess of whatever our minimum coverage amounts are stated in the below insured entries based upon a waiver of uninsured coverages exceeding the minimum required by insurance law. The insurance company shares the proportion that our limit of liability bears between the total of applicable limits and insures those things which have been damaged. You, as first name insured, moreover.
At USF&G, we believe that only when you understand your insurance are you truly covered. USF&G, the difference is understanding.
Out here isn't the only place our Ford F-Series pickups have blazed new trails. Our engineering labs are filled with constant improvements like our new standard airbag, a new convertible console seat, and yet along with all these new ideas, there's one that's not new for us at all. Toughness. Because when you design a truck for the future, it better be built to last that long.
And now for a limited time, get the best red carpet lease ever on America's best-selling truck, Ford F-Series.
Well, now here's a switch with the Seminoles in trouble. And there's that situation. How about that job by Nebraska and Coach Tom Osborne in that one? No matter if he hangs on or not, huh? Chad Johnston in.
Well, I tell you, if he does do it, he's earned the right because they aren't the most talented Nebraska team you and I have seen over the years. He's done an excellent, excellent coaching job.
Jimmy Gary, the ball carrier here, Dick. Last minute and a half winding down. And we get official word that the MVP of this USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl will be Eric Rhett. He certainly deserves that honor with his 3 touchdowns and his 100-yard night. Rhett has joined Jack Mildren and Jerome Bettis. Mildren of Oklahoma did it against Auburn in '72, and Bettis did it against Florida in '92 with 3 touchdowns or 18 points.
2 bowl games, Gator Bowl MVP last year, Sugar Bowl MVP this year.
Gary again.
Gary's a big, strong kid that's had knee problems in his career there so far.
Well, and looking back at some of the scores of the other day, Ohio State over Brigham Young. Dick, you and I were surprised that one was so close. And then USC struck for 4 scores against Utah and almost let that one get away. Last 30 seconds. And West Virginia's unbeaten season has come to an end. We'll wrap it up here in a moment.
It looks like a new kind of Tylenol.
It seems to be pretty strong medicine. It really makes you feel better.
Oh, good. Something easier to swallow.
It does look high-tech.
Introducing Extra Strength Tylenol Gel Tabs. All the power of Extra Strength Tylenol, made with an innovative patented gel coat technology. They work hard on your toughest pain.
It worked fast for me.
They did the trick. I went bowling last night.
Tylenol Gel Tabs, the newest form of pain relief.
The gel tabs were strong enough to take my pain away. Got rid of my aches and pains.
That's why we're standing here talking to you.
It's Domino's Crunchy Thin Crust Pizza. It's thin, crispy,
crunchy.
And check this.
Free pizza!
Order a large thin crust pizza with 2 toppings.
And get any medium 1-topping pizza. Free! Something for nothing when you call Domino's.
Strong. To win, you've got to be smart. Maybe you can be one of us, the few, the proud, the Marines.
Well, for Don Nehlen and the Mountaineers, been a very unhappy way to start 1994, but it was a glorious season, and it has been a solid program despite what has transpired down here in the Superdome tonight. And for the Gators of Florida, they have deservedly so, captured this championship. No question about it. They were the superior team here tonight. Spurrier was under fire early in this game, and his players simply responded. And Steve says, don't even worry about it. Don't play. Just get it out of here. Just let that clock tick away, and let's go on in with this 41-7 triumph. And, folks, the Florida Gators have won this year's USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl in convincing fashion, 41-7. So it's over down here in New Orleans for Jack Arute, Dick Vermeil, and all our crew here in New Orleans. We wish you a very happy New Year. I'm Brent Musburger. So long as Florida has beaten West Virginia 41-7.
ABC Sports coverage of the 1994 USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. Brought to you by USF&G Insurance. USF&G, the difference is understanding. The all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was, and more. Owens Corning. Make energy savings a touch easier with new Pink Plus poly-wrapped insulation. And O'Doul's. It's what beer drinkers drink when they're not drinking beer. Monday night, ABC Sports heads to the Golden Gate for a primetime East-West showdown. Steve Young, Jerry Rice, and the NFC West champion San Francisco 49ers host the Philadelphia Eagles. It's the season finale of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
There's nothing funny about not knowing how to read. So if you're in school, stay there. And if you've dropped out, go back. Education makes a difference. Never stop learning.
The American Broadcasting Company, ABC.
They care and they love the women here. It's an opportunity to live your dreams. It's hope.
Hello, I'm Lee Jordan. Your gifts to our Home for the Holidays campaign have enabled transitional housing to help hundreds of women find shelter, job training, and a chance at a new beginning. Please send a generous donation to the address on your screen. Help someone find a home for the holidays. Together, we can continue to make a difference for them.
What do you see all over Greater Cleveland? As far away as Akron, Canton, Mentor, and many other communities, you see cars and trucks purchased from Jim Marsh Ford. You can choose from over 400 cars and trucks, and it's our goal to sell every one for at least $300 less than the competition for the same exact model. We want to make your purchase a pleasure and satisfy your needs, and we've achieved 97% customer satisfaction. This is why people come from all over Northern Ohio to buy from Jim Marsh Ford off the 484-22 connection in Solon.
The best and the brightest compete on Academic Challenge each week. This week, catch Conneaut, Fairview, and Sandusky Sunday afternoon at 1, right here on News Channel 5.
From News Channel 5, Cleveland's live 24-hour news source continues. Brought to you by Ohio Edison.
Good evening, everyone. What a way to end 1993. A Lake County man rams his car into a train and lives to talk about it.
It happened on a dark, windy road in Fairport. News Channel 5's David Shifter tells us about the near-deadly encounter between this man and a train.
Eric Vaughn sees his car for the first time since it slammed into the side of a moving train.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty flat. It should be dead.
It is amazing. The car is crushed, the door just inches from the roof. It happened here. 2 tracks, no flashing lights or gates, just signs posted at either end. Eric Vaughn claims he didn't know what happened until he was wedged under a slow-moving tanker car.
I was lying in the front seat, and I crawled in the back seat, tried all the doors. None of them would open because they're all bent. Rolled this window down, and it doesn't go all the way down, so I kicked it out.
He's very lucky to escape with scratches and bruises.
Came around the curve.
Vaughn returns to the accident scene with us. A railroad crossing he's passed hundreds of times without stopping, without looking.
I was going about 25, 30, and I expected that if there were going to be a train here, that there would be some lights, so I just kept on going, and next thing I know, I'm under a train.
Should someone have been able to see that there was indeed a train in front of them?
Yes, they should have. There were some street lights on both sides of the tracks, and they should have been able to see it.
Police and railroad officials will tell you one of the biggest mistakes a motorist can make is to get too comfortable at a familiar railroad crossing. Always assume a train is coming, even though you've never, ever seen one on the tracks there before.
Because you just never know when they're